What's going on, guys? So we're back again. I'm here with my friend John.
Yo.
Yodel. We're here to talk, and actually, I think a great way to kind of start this out is to talk about how me and you first met.
It was at the Play Docks, right?
It was at the Flay Docks down at J Dock.
Yeah, I recently started trying to get my own little business going, filleting fish for just captains and deckhands, because throughout the season they dwindle down, they don't want to do it, and a lot of the times I can take up that extra brunt when it gets real busy in the end of the season. So I try to help that out with that aspect, and try to get those things going. Don't need the bear rug.
It does definitely become a lot of it becomes a lot of work, right? You're the first person on the boat, especially for a deckhand, right? The person who usually is doing the fillets, or the captains who run solo, right?
Yeah,
because they're the first ones on the boat. Then they run their trip.
Work.
They run their trip. They clean the boat. Or really they fillet and then clean the boat. If you do it all, it's easier for a deckhand because a deckhand can usually clean the boat before. I mean, he can fillet on the way in, underway to the dock. So for those solo captains, it becomes a lot harder for them to be able to manage all of it.
And
that's where you come in.
And it can be mentally taxing dealing with different groups of people. Some groups are great. Some groups are just don't want to deal with them at all. So there's a mental aspect that comes into it too. So at the end of the day, you're just mentally taxed and need somebody to come in at the end, and that's me. And one of these days, we'll fast forward a couple weeks after I met Peyton. We had this group of clients that just talked, and they asked a million questions.
They were truly a tough group of clients.
I have never wanted to walk away from a group of people in my entire life, and I've dealt with a lot of people. I have pretty high tolerance when it comes to people. I just didn't want to hear if that fish was male or female again. I got asked, how many fish it was a 3 group, and it's how many rockfish?
It was 3 persons, so that's if we had all of our non-collegiates, that was...
It was all black rockfish. I remember that.
Okay, well then that's 6.
So it was 6.
6 rocks.
And then they had all their halibut, and then it was.
So that's 6 rocks. So 6 halibut.
Yes. Every fish, is that male or female? Is that male or female? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I do know, but at a point you just want to give up on it and don't want to listen to is it male or female anymore.
And it's funny. There's a joke. There's a joke that we come up with, and it's a plan, and it hasn't happened yet.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get into.
That's what you were getting into.
Yeah. Okay.
So it hasn't happened yet, right? And but it will happen this upcoming season, right?
Eventually, yes.
Or at some point, it will happen. And I'm just gonna let him know. I'm gonna text him while I'm docking the boat, and I'm gonna let him know today's the day, and he knows that he's gonna know what that means. And basically, as I'm walking the clients up to the fillet docks, I'm gonna tell them, hey, look, guys, I'm gonna have this guy fillet your fish. Keep your distance. He bites. He has full liability to bite you, and he's not all the way there. And whenever I get up there, we're gonna have a little bit of a conversation that's gonna somewhat go like this. Hey, John, will you fillet these fish? Fillet. So fish. And he's going to actually bite me and draw blood. And those customers aren't going to want to deal with him anymore.
Oh, shit. I'm going to drink beer to that, and I'll tell you what.
So, John, you are actually another Southern man yourself.
Yeah.
That's up in the Great North.
Born and raised in Port St. Lucie, Florida. I lived there for almost 20 years, and I wish they weren't 20 years there. I wish more were more up here. There's more to see, more people to learn about, and just quite the diversity of people here. You learn a lot about yourself when you live up here. I mean, during the winter times more so. I mean, you have a lot of fun during the summertime regardless. But the winters, it's a totally different beast. I mean, have you spent a winter up here yet?
Yeah, I spent last winter up here working for DOT.
How'd you feel about it?
Man, and last season, last winter, I heard was a very, very mild and slow as far as winter.
We didn't get any snow.
Man, there was 2 snowstorms here that we actually got some snow, which is funny because I worked for DOT as an operator. So our main job, which, of course, regular sign and road maintenance, potholing and fixing signs, but our main utility or our main goal during the wintertime is snow plowing. So, we didn't have a lot of that to really take care of here this last winter.
Did you get to see more because of that, or were you just kind of like just doing pothole maintenance, or what was your detail?
I did a lot of sign maintenance, pothole maintenance, and the thing is, we may not have gotten that much snow, but the road's still ice.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
It makes it harder too, I imagine.
So yeah, I mean, we did a lot of road sanding as well, and then we didn't get a lot of snow, so by the time we would be on shift, if we did get a snow that night, it was never that bad. So I did a lot of pull-out plowing too, just keeping pull-outs clear for anybody that's in and out,
And
a lot of that.
How would you say it's different from being down south from Louisiana driving up here during the wintertime?
Well, actually, we said this last episode. The thing about up here is everything is humbling.
Oh.
You wake up in the morning and everything wants to kill you. And that's even your drive to work, maybe. And I actually, during the wintertime, I had a 93 F-150 that I bought from a buddy I deckhanded with at a specific company, my first company working for here. And I bought it from him, and it was a stick shift inline-6.
Boy,
yeah,
I must have been interested in learning in the snow.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I knew how to drive stick. I've known how to drive stick since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, but it's different whenever you've got no traction. And I mean, these were the baldest regular tires.
You got road slicks on that old girl, huh?
Oh, buddy. Whenever I say, so I live down Bear Lake, and the DOT shop here where I would pick up my company truck, right, was in the middle of town, right behind Woody's.
Yeah, okay.
So
you had about
I'd
a
wake
5
up,
mile drive.
Yeah, and you're, whenever you're getting there, you start your day at 3:30 because you have to be at the Crown Point yard at 4.
4 a.m., right?
4 a.m.
So everything's iced over. You got your frost
over
and your glare ice, and your day's set. If you're not prepared, you're going to be failing.
I mean, I'd wake up, I'd I'd scrape off and shovel off my truck, and I would drive literally sideways until I got past Nash Road.
Yeah.
Literally the entire time.
I've done that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Whipping it,
You're just trying to get into that groove.
Absolutely.
And then you pass one of the neighbors just drinking their coffee. And like, what the hell is going on there?
Well, I mean, at that point, I'm leaving the house at 3 o'clock because I'm going pretty slow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To make sure that I'm there on 3:30. Plus, you want to leave the yard at 3:30 to be able to be at Crown Point for 4. And those trucks take a long time to heat up. So,
Diesel, right?
No, they were all gassers. Actually, the state of Alaska does not like diesel in their trucks.
Why is that?
Well, they're crew trucks. They're regular man trucks. And I don't know. I'm not a part of I wasn't a part of maintenance or anything.
Okay.
But it's definitely its own experience. We had kind of a funny encountering because and how we kind of just flocked to each other because like I started working on the end of day dock where you were filleting at, and it started off with actually a short-term captain that I worked with introduced us.
What was his name?
That was it was Dave.
Yes, Dave Shoe?
No.
Or was it Dave Foot? I can't remember his last name for to save my life. He'll probably see this and laugh real hard.
Well, it's okay. We don't want to put him out there like that anyways.
Yeah.
You know, so I won't say his last name, but...
It's Dave Nike.
It's Dave. It's Dave, the same last name as my parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
But he introduced us, and so, you know, I would come in, and I think I actually paid you for fish filleting maybe once or twice.
Yeah, you asked me my base rate, I told you what it was, and we worked out a deal for
just about every other time.
Everything.
and that's, you know, come through with everything. I mean, there's been times where I was able to make it to Soldotna and he wasn't, you know, because during the summertime we're so hectic down here that
you just go where the work is.
Yeah, it's so hectic down here that you're so busy that sometimes you're not always able to make it to the bigger places around with more stores and stuff like that. So I remember one time for like 4 or 5 trips, my payment was a fly rod setup.
Yeah, that was great. It was a Behemoth 7/8 weight with what was the rod? It was the Redington?
No, I didn't get the Behemoth. It was the Okuma. It was the Okuma STV 7/8.
STV 7/8. And what was the reel? It was Redington?
The rod was a Redington
6.7.
6.7, yeah.
Dude, I caught a ling cut on that. It was a 50-pound ling cut. We caught it on one of our end of the year trips. That was amazing.
That was actually the next thing I was gonna bring up was that overnighter. You know, we went on a trip. It was an overnighter at Port Ashton, which is Evans Island here in the Gulf of Alaska. It's one of the islands just next to Montague, and tell me about that trip for you, because it's different for me being a deckhand. I'm always out on the water, you know, and I know you've gone on your fair share of hog hunts and fishing trips, but
I've been on plenty of fishing trips and a lot of different bear hunts and moose hunts, and it really takes a lot to top a trip in Alaska. You know, you see a lot. You meet a lot of different people, and it can be repetitive sometimes, but this trip had to be one of the most ultimate experiences I've ever had in my life.
I would definitely agree.
Good people, amazing deckhands, amazing captain, and we found the fish, man. And fishing in general, I know I'll go off a little topic here, it's not always guaranteed. The weather was amazing. It was beautiful. You couldn't ask for a better day.
Better weekend. I mean,
2 days. Yeah, we were out there for 2 days, and it was like Hawaii weather.
Yeah, we there was at one point we spent the entire day with our shirts off.
Yeah, I got sunburned pretty good that day.
Yeah, and what he meant by, you know, we had a good captain, we had a good group of deckhands, was it was actually put together. Most of us were deckhands professionally. It was put together kind of as an end of the year deckhand trip.
Yeah, I was invited by the spur of the moment, and it was
me too. Me
yeah,
and you were
it was
like
amazing.
It ended up being 2 people from the same, because you know J-Dock where we worked, right? It's kind of like its own little community, I'd say.
Yeah.
In comparison to like the rest of the docks,
absolutely.
You know?
They break up pretty much. The people who fish and actually fish will hang around J-Dock because they work hard for their fish. Now, I'm not dedicating, like, saying everybody that hangs at other docks are as good as the people that go to J-Dock, but I will say a lot of people stay away from the docks because they don't want their clients seeing what we're catching.
Right. Absolutely. But, you know, a bunch of guys from down on the J-Dock side, we got together and we did it. And you ended up being in there. And like you said, it was a phenomenal weekend, weather-wise. And I also think just the atmosphere of having that many deckhands there.
It was great because we didn't have any stupid questions.
We didn't have any stupid questions. And you know, everybody was doing their own little part. You know what I mean?
We already knew what we needed to do, and nobody asked for anything. It was like a well-oiled machine. I've never seen a boat work so efficiently without anybody getting frustrated.
It was great. It was absolutely great. I mean, it's probably my favorite fishing trip I've ever been on.
100%.
Without a doubt.
I could have caught nothing and still had a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the thing is, you know, we had our buddy Evan and our buddy Carson.
Oh, man, they're great people.
who are they're absolute lingcod, which I call them dragon hunters because lingcod kind of look like a dragon.
Fanatics.
And they're absolute dragon hunters, you know. And so they knew what they were doing, putting us on the lingcod spots. They knew what they were doing. And then whenever it came time for the halibut, you know, they were like, "Hey man, you're kind of talking to me anyways." They were like, "You're kind of our halibut guy." And I was like, "Look, man, we drop here, we chum enough, we will get put
the
on
hogs will come.
The hogs will come." And did they not?
Dude, that barn door hit so hard.
Yeah.
I thought that pole was gonna break for sure.
Dude, I mean, just straight bent over.
Those head shakes were violent. I struggled for the first 20 minutes pulling that fish up.
And the funny part is, while you were fighting that fish, I was also pulling in a skate.
I had no idea. Zero iota idea. And then Bailey with the bang stick. That was hilarious.
Yes. And it's funny, you know, going with you, and me and you, we had hung out for a while prior to this, you know, cookouts and stuff.
Yeah, we've had great hangouts.
But, you know, I knew you were the kind of buddy who, on these trips, you start to look for him whenever he goes quiet. And it's funny, I remember the first time you go quiet, right? He's up on the bow with his fly rod. And he's catching rockfish after rockfish.
This little 7/8 weight is just like...
7/8 weight is just straight down. And it's funny, I remember at one point, it got to the point to where, and it's what, an 11-foot rod?
It's 12 and a half.
12.5 foot rod. So he's all the way on the bow, and it's not like one of those. It's
railed.
It was a raider.
Yeah, it's a raider.
And it wasn't one of the ones that you could walk down the side. Like it had port and starboard walkways. I
had to sit with my legs outside the boat.
Yeah. I've got pictures of you sitting there just
You look like a pear, dude.
with no shirt.
Yes,
on.
I looked like it was a pear.
Yes, and there were points where like his rod was so long, if he wanted a rockfish dealt with, he would just swing it around in the back.
Like, hey, can you get this rockfish?
But I remember the first time he goes quiet, and this boat was glass all the way around, and I'm sitting there and I can't remember exactly what I'm doing. I'm probably jigging, and I just look up at him and he's posted up on the railing with his Glock, and nobody else is paying attention. So I giggle, right? Because I know what's fixing to come, and then I just hear boom, and he done shot a rockfish in the head. Pulls the rockfish in and he goes, "Hey guys, I think this one's a keeper."
I stuck that fucking cooler sticker on there.
Yeah.
Fuck them fish.
And that was funny. And it's also funny because, you know, later on that trip, I'm fishing and I catch a rockfish, and I tell the captain, I said, "Hey man, hold this." And he goes, okay. And he just holds it, and the rockfish is at the surface. And then before you could blink, I'm out there with my 10 millimeter. Doosh, doosh, doosh.
You're just making rockfish tacos right there.
Making rockfish tacos right there. And then, you know, the second time you went quiet, that's really the story to tell.
Yeah, so I have this diamond jig he let me borrow. I like fishing lightweight, especially when it comes to fly fishing. But this time I decided, what was that fluorocarbon you gave me? It was like 35-pound test?
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
It was like 35-pound test, fluorocarbon, tippet, and then the actual, like the line that goes from, maybe it's tippet actually, and then the hard line before that. So the hard line and then the tippet was 15-pound test with an 1.5 ounce diamond jig. And I'm jigging this fly rod up and down on the port side of the back of the boat, and the reel just starts spitting water.
I remember looking up, and you went quiet.
And the whole rod, all 12 foot, like, so the reel's right here. The rod was bending past the reel. And I was like, oh, this is going to break.
I remember you went quiet again, and I looked through the glass cabin, and your rod tip's bent way over, and I'm like, oh shit.
I was like, somebody get a gaff.
Somebody get a gaff.
And I'm sitting there for 30 minutes straight, reeling, and then the line spitting out. Reeling and line spitting out. I was like, it's got to be a lingcod. It's got to be a lingcod. And after that time came through, I get it up to the boat, and it's a traveler. It was a donkey rockfish. That thing's huge.
Yeah, I mean the rockfish was huge.
That thing had a...
And the hitchhiker, the lingcod was, that lingcod was probably 55, 60 pounds.
Oh, at least.
I mean, it was a good lingcod. I'll show a picture of it in the video.
It was a monster, dude.
It was a monster lingcod. And the rockfish, too. I mean, I've got pictures. I'll show this picture as well, but I've got pictures where you're holding the fly rod, the 6-7 fly rod in your teeth.
I so wish that I had.
You're holding the lingcod.
That would have been a state record.
Yeah, state record for a fly rod catch, right? And I've got the rockfish in my mouth behind you.
yes, that was great. You know, I didn't realize that was in your mouth until like a month and a half later.
Really?
I was just looking one day. I was like, oh, that's the rockfish. Okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense. It's funny because, the interview and...
what I said, oh, welcome aboard. I'd like to have you for dinner.
I can pull it up right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's funny because the rockfish in that interview, the rockfish is in the lingcod's mouth.
At this point, yes.
At this point. Yeah, and I'll show it in the video as well. Oh, that's not it?
This is a polar bear claw.
That's the polar bear claw. Next story.
It's
here it is.
there.
Yeah.
So the thing here today is, Johnny Boy, how did you catch this lingcod? On the fly rod. On the fly rod, you say? Yes, sir. On the fly rod. Okay. This is massive link. Do you realize what you have done here today? No idea. This is a huge lingcod on the fly rod, dude. What do you have to say about yourself today? Welcome aboard. I'd like to have you for dinner sometime. I would love to have you for dinner. Thank you, John. Oh, hell yeah.
I'd love to have you for dinner.
What an iconic saying too, and it's something that I'll never forget. Is you came up with that on the spot. I'd love to have you for dinner sometime.
Oh man, it was delicious too. I made some beef stroganoff with them the other night.
Did you?
Yeah, and
some lingcod stroganoff.
It was so good. The ling strog.
That sounds great.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
It's funny. So that first video that I accidentally pulled up was from the same trip, and it was actually, you had a polar bear claw with you.
Yeah, I had
and we had hatched this scheme, right? Go ahead.
I had gotten this polar bear claw from this native guy. His name is Adam Tuya, and he lives in Wainwright, Alaska. And I contracted a couple other native guys to carve different pieces on there. So this piece is absolutely beautiful. It's like a $30,000 piece of ivory with baleen and polar bear claw. It's just absolutely beautiful. With also has some hand carved mastodon from Siberian Tibetan sleds. So it's got a lot of history into the claw itself. And I was like, dude, at some point we need to rip the fish's gills out with this polar bear claw. Give it another life. Just at least have one more kill on its claw would be great. So I put it on like a lei from Hawaii, and I just bestowed it on it. I just bestowed it on me
because I was the hell of a guy that trip. I was the man working the gaff. I was the man working the gills.
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly how it went, but I was like, I have this.
We got to do it.
And so I pulled this fish up. I'll pull that video up right quick too. And I go to absolutely just we'll show you the video. We'll show you this video.
It's so sick. Just trying to rip that fish's
I'm trying to get
out.
into it, and I'm like, John, hold this.
Help me, please.
Help me. And then I get it, and I start ripping the gills.
Then you're yanking so hard. Those halibut rakers are tough. Sometimes when you're pulling those fishes up and holding them.
And right there in that moment, it breaks.
Triple take, dude.
Yeah. So the thing is, and we did rip the gills. Don't get me wrong. We bled them out with that polar bear claw.
Yeah.
But on the last time I was ripping gills, it broke. And I was like, oh crap. Because he's like, this is real. This is a real polar bear claw.
You should have seen it. It was like his soul left his body. Like something broke inside of him. The polar bear broke, but something else broke inside Peyton.
Guy felt so bad.
I had to reassure him that it's okay. I have people that know how to fix this professionally. It's not a big deal.
But it was a super cool experience to be able to do that, and it's such a great memory to say. Because who can say, you know?
I ripped the fish's gills out.
I ripped the fish's gills out with a polar bear claw. And then who else can also say, I caught a 60-pound lingcod on a 6'7" fly rod?
I think there's minimal people, if not any.
If any, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's just crazy things happen in Alaska.
Yeah.
Just no other. It's a lack of words. Just crazy things happen in Alaska.
Especially whenever you've got a group of people that are like-minded individuals with us, right?
Absolutely.
It's, you know, and I, you know, I say this all the time now. I actually have a captain that I worked with down in Fuchon that he's the one who told me this, and it made sense. You know, there's not a lot of people in the industry that I'm in that are really all the way there. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of people.
Well, they're in there for the money. That's about it. They don't really care about the fishing.
Well, a lot of people. Now, there's a lot of people who do, but what I'm saying is there's not a lot of people who are in the industry that's all the way put together upstairs. You know what I'm saying? Most of us have some loose
really
screws.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some cannons working in some spots of the docks.
Granted, you know, and I think that's a funny note that you mentioned is, you know, there are a lot of people who are there for the checks and they're not there for the fish. And that's another thing that made that such a great trip was because the deckhands that were there were people who they take their craft in finding fish and catching fish.
It's a love.
It's a love for it. They have a love for it. They have a love for the art of what they do, you know. And it was such a blessing to have a trip like that with all those people who think the same way. No, it couldn't have gone better. Whenever we got to Port Ashton, we actually got to...
Dude, you gotta show... Do you have a video of us pulling into Port Ashton with all those salmon?
I have videos somewhere of all the
salmon. That was absolutely insane.
At one point, At one point, and I'll show it if I have it. At one point, me and you were sitting out on the beach. You still got that 6'7" fly rod.
I can't believe I caught that dog.
But we're just catching pink salmon after pink salmon because, you know, it's right at the time that they're going crazy. And I mean, you couldn't not catch unless you were Carson.
Yeah, unless Carson couldn't catch a fish to save his life. If Carson needed to catch a fish, it wasn't happening.
No, I mean, he was fine offshore. Whenever it came to those pinks, though, he could not fish.
Dude, he was getting so butthurt. I felt bad for him.
I did feel bad. And I love Carson because he knows how to find his lingcod, right?
Oh, 100%.
But we're sitting there, and I'm literally fishing with a hoochie, right? A literal
single hook hoochie.
A single hook hoochie.
With deer hair. And I'm fishing with this janky fly rod whopper plopper with a treble hook. And I'm using it as a popper, snagging these salmon.
Both on fly rods, you know?
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then you caught that dog, and you chased it. He accidentally caught the dog by the tail.
Got in the way. He just ran right in front of the fly cast. I was like, what are you doing? And I was like, and then he bit the shit. Dude, I was bleeding everywhere.
He bit you.
Bit the shit out of him. Yeah, he's like, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm going to bite you. Holy cow. And then like walking the dog up like he's on a leash backwards. The dog's like backstroking it to the owner. The owner's like looking at me like, what the hell?
Which I think the funniest part is, you know, the bigger fish there on the trip, I didn't even catch, you know. And I caught a few lingcod, I caught maybe one halibut, but, you know, my intent, and that's what's funny is, you know, even in that setting, and we each paid all this money to be there, you know. Yeah. Even in that setting, I was in guide mode. You know what I mean? And it's not because, you know, I had to be, it's because I wanted to be. It is a second nature. Because you want to catch fish, you want to help everybody catch fish, you know? And I think the entire time I was in guide mode, which I still to this day wouldn't have done it any different.
Would you say it's primitive?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say it's primitive in almost like a waristic way.
It's like you can feel it behind your eyes.
Yeah, I wake up in the morning, and whenever I know it's going to be a good day, and like, there's days where, and you know Tim, you know Captain Tim.
Absolutely.
There's days whenever I've worked with him. I love Captain Tim, you know, and I spoke about him on the last episode.
Yeah.
There were days, and me and him thought a lot alike in a lot of ways, and there were days where we were just, we would wake up ready for battle, and that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
You know, we were going to battle with these fish, and a lot of the times I say it, and you know, it sounds messed up, but it's, you know, it just kind of is what it is. But you know, I wake up and one of my sayings is, no, I'm here for one purpose and one purpose only. And that's for me to go out here, find these fish, rip them from their homes, stab them in the face with a hook, and then beat them in the head with a bat.
Yeah.
It sounds horrible, but what I will say is, me hitting them in the head with the bat it's the quickest way for me to put them out of their misery. 2, it's very much primal. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it is. I make it a mission to go and find these fish and put these customers on these fish.
Well,
you
if
know,
you think about it, it's insane how we actually. If you think about fishing as a whole, it's a piece of plastic with a piece of metal and some bait, and you have no idea other than what your sound or your viewfinder is showing you. You have no idea what's down there. And for these guys to go take you out and be able to put you on what their target species is absolutely mind-boggling if you think about it and break it down.
And to think that entire trip we didn't use it at depth. I mean, we used Garmin and sonar.
Yeah.
But we didn't use fish finders. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. We found our humps and we just kind of fished on it and threw some chum bounds down, and it just worked out very well.
And with, you know, with halibut, whenever you're looking at a fish finder, yes, you can kind of see them at points in times, but it's not often.
No, they're ambush hunters. They're always sitting on the bottom looking up.
They're bottom fish, and
they don't show up on there.
Right, and the lingcod, you know, they do show up if you're watching that fish finder over pinnacles.
Yeah.
But it takes a very particular eye, which I'm sure me, Evan, and Carson all have for those fish. But it's still, you know, that wasn't on our agenda.
No, it was just whatever bit.
Whatever bit, we were there to just, you know, we were there to fish. We weren't there to, you know, we did kind of all play guide at some point in time.
Yeah, it was great.
But, you know, which is funny, speaking of halibut, you know, halibut and flounder, their anatomy, do you know why they're white on the bottom side and brown on the top side?
I would imagine for when they're swimming up, so when the sunlight's on the top, the other fish that are hunting can't see them. And then the vice versa for when they're looking down.
So the brown is for them to be, exactly right. The brown is for them to be able to camouflage into the sand and the dirt and the mud and the, you know, whatever it is, the rocks. And it's funny, whenever you look up from the ocean floor in sunlight at those depths, you know, fish see white.
Okay.
That's all they see. And that's why the halibut, the bottom side of a halibut and a flounder is white. And that's crazy, you know?
Adaptation to its finest.
Right. Did you know that sometimes we will bring up fish that have eyes on each side of its head still, and sometimes we'll have all white fish or all brown fish?
The younger halibut before their eyes switch over?
No, I'm talking about grown fish that just...
Oh, wow. I mean,
it's not an often thing, right? It's a very rare thing, but it's just they never adapted for their eyes to change over, or they never adapted to where they became, you know, double-sided.
You know, it brings up another interesting fact. What about this blue lingcod? Have you ever gotten into one of those?
I have never caught one. I've caught a blue meated lingcod, which is caused by the same thing. Do you know what they're caused by?
Their diet mostly.
Their diet. They have such a high intake of octopus and jellyfish. I mean, not jellyfish. Octopus and squid.
Yeah, the ink, right?
Yeah. Mostly, and squid are just a blue. Mostly a blue. Octopus.
I want to know. I'm colorblind.
Octopus without I mean, I'm colorblind too.
Oh yeah, that was fun wiring the trailer, wasn't it?
Two colorblind people trying to wire up a trailer.
Hey, you should put a video on that. I tell you what.
Yeah, no shit. But so you know how octopus are kind of orangish, right? Well, their meat is blue. If you've ever cut one open for their tentacles, and they make great bait for just about anything, their meat is blue. And same thing with squids. They're almost an entirely blue fish once you kill them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's almost alien if you think about it.
It is. And a lot of people, I've actually said this multiple times, is like, a lot of people think, whenever they think aliens, they think outer space, man.
They're in the ocean, man.
They're in the ocean.
They're 100% in the ocean.
I've seen Aquaman.
Have you ever listened to anything about Nat Geo and how much we discovered of the ocean?
Dude, we've discovered 2%.
Less than 3%.
We've discovered less than 3%, and you know how much of the ocean makes up the Earth?
60%?
65%. If my numbers are correct, don't quote me on that, but I believe 65%.
Right.
That's wicked, dude.
There's more than meets the eye.
And even with the creatures that are already down there that we know about, some things are so just foreign. I mean, think about seahorses. I mean, octopus.
Gulper eel. Six-gilled sharks.
Wolf eels.
Frilled sharks.
Dude, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Sharks,
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Anglerfish.
Dude.
Anglerfish are wicked.
Did you know there are I think it's a heterosexual or asexual. Maybe, I can't remember actually. So the female and the male, it becomes a homunculus. So the male attaches itself to the female anglerfish and the female absorbs the male's organs and then inseminates itself whenever it wants to become pregnant.
I did not know that. Did you know that clownfish, right? I believe the male in a leading group will become the female whenever the female dies.
Yes, that is correct.
That's
insane.
That's insane. And it's really weird to think about the different creatures that are in the depths. You know what I mean?
Some freshwater species will carry their young inside their mouth.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
at all.
It's amazing. If you look at some of the cichlid families, a lot of the cichlid families, or I believe some tilapia families, will actually keep their fry inside their mouth when they're in the brackish water until they're at a certain size.
That's wicked. That's wicked.
Fish are wicked.
Fish are wicked. And that's kind of, that adds to my, and don't get me wrong, I love fishing.
Love it.
I love it. But, what kind of led me to that was my love for the ocean, And so, I do freshwater fish, and I enjoy freshwater fishing, but I don't love it like I do saltwater fishing,
It's a different animal.
It's a different animal. And just the ocean itself, I love it. Like, going kayaking in the deep sea, that's another thing.
Halibut?
For halibut. Me and Fisher, we've gone a couple of times, and whenever you tell people about that you've gone kayak fishing for halibut, and to be honest, every time we go out, it's our goal to catch a 300-pounder.
100%.
And the thing is, people are like, that's crazy. And I'm like, dude, yes, but it's what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
it's
crazy to just catch rockfish and
yeah,
lingcod.
I want to be dragged around that little kayak until that fish is ready to give up.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to unload my 9mm into it.
Yeah. Oh, no, dude, I need to put it out immediately. I'm bringing the 10mm.
I haven't got, maybe the 460.
The 460? There's not going to be a 300-pound halibut left, brother.
It'd just be the tail.
Right.
Just get a tail mount.
That was a 300-pound fish.
Oh, man.
It's definitely, the ocean is something entirely... It's its own creature.
It definitely will humble you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether, I'm not a deckhand for anything. I like hunting. Hunting's my thing. But I will definitely speak to say the weather will change and throw you off.
Yeah. I mean, we've had days where, not even the weather, that wind kicks up.
Yeah.
And the seas kick up.
Did you know we get recorded weather for last year for wind speed?
No.
It was in the 180 mile per hour winds in Anchorage recorded.
That was crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even have hurricanes around here. It's just flat some areas, and for 180 miles, it knocked over a bridge in Anchorage. It knocked over a whole bridge.
That's wicked.
And
last year also
out in the water.
Last year also we had some of the most gorgeous weather down here that we've had in maybe the last 6-7 years. We had, and it wasn't even just the how gorgeous the weather was. It was the amount of gorgeous weather.
90 days.
I mean, we had more good days last season than not good days.
I think it was 90 days.
Yeah. I mean,
that's almost the whole season.
That was almost the entire season. It was gorgeous like that.
I've never killed so many fish in my life. My freezer is still full from last year. I didn't even fish as hard as I did this year.
I didn't even go on full fishing trips. I would just obtain the couple of rockfish that I'm allowed to as a deckhand.
Yeah.
And that, along with the overnighter and a couple of trips or the 2 trips that I took Mom on,
Yes, absolutely.
And all the rockfish that I obtained. And of course I kept a couple of lingcods that I'm allowed to obtain throughout the season. We have a deep freeze that's probably 4 feet long and like 3 feet deep. That is full. Full to the brim. I mean, you can't fit anything else.
Look at it. Sometimes you look at it like, holy cow, I'm gonna eat that.
Right, especially whenever all the rockfish. The best it lasts is 6 months, and that actually leads me to the next question. What is your favorite fish out here to eat?
Well, I will say it depends on how you cook it.
Absolutely.
Cooked fish. Number 1 is going to be rockfish. Uncooked fish is Copper River King salmon made into world-class sushi. It's just high in fat, great flavor, and it just absolutely melts in your mouth. You'll never taste anything like it unless you actually come up here and try it yourself.
I think, and halibut, as great as it is, I personally think it's overrated.
I don't like halibut.
And I like halibut.
I literally give my halibut away when I caught, like the halibut that I caught on this trip, I donated it to some elders because I do not like halibut.
That's fair. I've heard of a lot of people that don't like halibut. And I do, I like halibut, but I think it's overrated.
I think
and
that
the reasoning
as a bottom fish. I mean, it is a bottom fish.
It is a bottom fish.
It eats like a crab. It eats like a catfish. I just don't understand why so many people, I think it's just overrated.
That's what I'm saying. It's overrated. And, the thing about it is I do think it's good. The thing about it is, though, whenever you get a certain size halibut, really, period, they're a hard fish to cook thoroughly through where you get all your seasonings and your flavors into it, but you don't cook all the moisture out of it. And you don't see that.
When they get super big.
And you don't see that with rockfish or lingcod,
No, the delicious flavors all the time.
I think my 2 favorite are rockfish and lingcod. Rockfish first. And, a lot of people are like, rockfish is rockfish.
No.
But fresh yellow eye.
Fresh yellow, yes.
You can't beat fresh yellow eye.
Did you know
you
that
pull the cheeks out of a big one, you pull both fillets off, you can't beat it.
Did you know yellow eye can live up to like 150 years old?
I did.
I think the oldest recorded was like 140 years old.
The regular, decent sized ones that I would bring you are about 36 to 40 years old.
It's amazing. And they don't leave their own, they live in the same spot for their entire life.
So those non-pelagic rockfish like that, quailbacks, yellow eyes, China rockfish, all of those rockfish, they live within the same 15 feet, scientists say, from the same rock. And so the way that I've always explained it to customers is they're couch potatoes. They sit right there and they wait till a little krill or a little fish walk by, and then they come off their couch, take a bite, and then they go back to their couch, Which is crazy, and that goes into its own thing with fish and game. It's like, the reproduction system for them is hard because they don't leave their 15.
No, they live within their means.
They live within their means and they don't leave their 15 things.
So
their reproduction thing, you have to hope that this female rockfish's 15 feet is within this other male rockfish's 15 feet, right? And that's crazy whenever you think on the reproductive system of it all, you know?
Nature definitely finds a way, and it's insane to me on how it happens, because I, for myself, probably cut close to 60, 70,000 pounds of just rockfish in a year. And not even in a year, it's like 6 months.
Yeah, if that. Like closer to 4 or 5.
4.5.
4.5.
In 4.5 months' time, I'll probably cut like 60,000 pounds of just rockfish. Probably in total of everything, probably about 400,000 pounds of fish. Just myself filleting. Because I'm getting everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Dude, I've got really bad carpal tunnel. I might have to get surgery this year so I can actually work next year, because I'm picking up things and I'm actually like dropping them and I can't hold on to them now. I feel like an old man.
God bless.
Oh man, it sucks.
You know, and as funny as it is, I say lingcod and rockfish are my favorite, right? But, and also, lingcod and rockfish are the two fish out there, and really more or less rockfish, but they're the two fish out there that I would. They're the only fish that I wouldn't suggest you freeze for 24 hours before
No, you eat it as soon as you kill it.
But well, because halibut and everything else, especially salmon, they're so parasitical and wormy. You know,
100% freeze that thing. 30 days.
Freeze those
minimum.
for I say 24 hours, 30 days. You know, depending on who you are. You really, in my opinion, you want to freeze those fish. A lot of people like their fresh caught halibut. I think you should freeze them just because of how parasitical of a creature they are.
What about those peacock?
Oh, I hate peacock. Those are the most wormy creatures. And the thing is, the thing about gray cod, right? Up here we call them peacock because it's Pacific cod. Whenever you buy cod in a store, what you're usually buying is Atlantic cod.
Correct.
Right? Which is it's the same species.
That's just what they sell for the fish o fillet and all that stuff.
Well, fish and chips, fish and fillet. Well, no, if you get like a McDonald's fish fillet,
Those are from here.
those are pollock.
Yes.
Those are pollock. Yeah, which pollock aren't bad. They're not a game fish though.
Don't they make sashimi and imitation crab with that as well?
Yes they do. They do make. I don't know about shirimi, but they do make imitation crab with pollock.
Yeah, I think I was reading it the other day and I was like, I didn't know.
But whenever you get gray cod from somewhere, you know, fish and chips, stuff like that, you're getting Atlantic cod, which is a much less parasitical and wormy fish. In comparison to the gray cod that you catch up here, which is peacod, which stands for Pacific cod, you know.
Yeah. Parasitic cod.
They're full of worms.
You could literally scoop them out with your hands on some of these fish. It is absolutely disgusting. And people have no problem eating it. I understand it's fish, but... And they suck the fillet. I've never hated a fish so much.
They
fillet.
do suck to fillet. What I was getting at with that last part was rockfish and lingcod, I would say, are my favorite.
100%.
Average fish. But my number one favorite fish that I've ever had from up here was that salmon shark that you cooked.
Oh, the cook, yeah, dude, from the special that we did. What was that series?
The Cooking with Chef Lil Jon. We'll have a new episode of that coming up soon.
Yeah, I just started grinding some bear tonight. Did some bear sausage and some snack sticks and some bratwurst. So we'll get into that probably. When do you want to say we'll probably make that video?
Who knows? It'll come soon though.
Just
too long.
Be tuned.
Be tuned. Absolutely. But I mean that salmon shark. Whenever I say we had plastic forks, and whenever I say I barely put pressure on it, and it just cut right through it. And it was bacon wrapped, covered in lemons.
I just made up the recipe. I don't even remember how I cooked it. I think I cooked it like a piece of tilapia.
Dude, it was so good. It was so good. Melt in your mouth like nothing
Smoker,
else.
we used a Traeger on it. We dolled it up, and it was amazing.
Absolutely.
I actually have more of that if you want.
Dude, I would love some salmon shark.
I have about 10 pieces. I'll split it in half for you.
Sounds great, brother.
And,
So, Another thing that I really wanted to ask you about is, you've been hunting here for probably how long?
Well, I moved up here June 8th of 2019, and I started hunting the year after.
So tell me a little bit about that, man. Tell me some of your adventures with that. What is that like hunting up here in comparison to like the South where we're from,
Like he said, I'll bring it up again, everything's trying to kill you. Whether it be the weather, the roads, people, animals, the clothes you wear, the actual terrain, everything is trying to kill you. I came up with the saying, I don't know if anybody else says it, but I say cotton kills. Literally, cotton will freeze and it doesn't wick. It just freezes and your body temperature drops. You need to be prepared when you go hunting. You need polyester, wool, and you dress in layers, and you need a great pair of boots. Not a good pair of boots, a great pair of boots. Something lightweight, keep your feet dry. But let's not get into gear. Let's get into the actual hunt. For the first 2.5 years, maybe 3, we'll say at most, I didn't see a bear at all. I felt like there was no bears in Alaska. I felt like the worst hunter in the world. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. And it's a lot of dedication. You got to put in the work to earn it. And you got to learn these animals. They're very smart. Watching a bear, I don't know what they call it when they smell you. Is that called scented? What do they call it? They're winding.
Yeah,
winding. When a bear winds you from over 3.5 miles away from an entire mountain pass, and you're watching it through the binos, and it's tasting the air and putting its Jacobson tongue into its Jacobson organ and sending the information to itself from 3 miles away, and it just running away is absolutely insane, frustrating, and just beats you down as a hunter when you haven't shot anything bigger than a rabbit or a squirrel, Thanks for the beer, man.
Absolutely, man.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. You need me to take care of this one for you?
I appreciate that.
Absolutely, brother.
And my first bear was very special to me. It was a female black bear. And I went on a boat trip with a whole bunch of guys that I met throughout the years with J-Doc. And Captain Will took me out. And we went out for 6 days and 6 nights. It was absolutely amazing. We had to take the boat. It was called the Outer Limits. They had to get a seat keeper for the boat.
I know the boat, actually.
It's a Delta. It's a beautiful Delta.
Beautiful Delta. Right there on J-Doc. That boat is for the J-Doc company, correct?
Correct. It's got a $750,000 gyroscope in that thing.
Yeah.
So it just keeps the water, and it spins around and keeps everything flat when you're out there in the ocean.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what a gyroscope is, or seat keeper. So we made a trip out of it, and we headed through the west arm of Port Dick. And I didn't see...
I'm sorry, that's so childish of me. I had to.
I didn't see any bears the whole trip till the last day. We counted 30 bears on one of the mountainsides, and it was amazing to see that many bear. But when we got to where I was hunting, I won't disclose the location because it's one of my favorite spots. We were out there on this tidal flat, and we had this guy named Doug Wade. He is our film producer. He was actually a photographer at that time, and he took some film for us. And me, Will, and Doug went out there, and it was reaching almost sundown, and we're leaving. We're talking just like this, in our normal voices, and Doug goes, "Hey, bear," I'm like, "What?" Will's like, "Fuck, get down, bear." And And I'm freaking out. I've never shot anything bigger than a rabbit or a squirrel at this point, you know? I'm losing my shit. My heart rate's going up, and you get buck fever, you start shaking, and I'm freaking out. I'm trying to grab the cameraman's tripod to put my rifle on, shoot a 700-yard shot. And my buddy Will, he's a veteran elk hunter, long-range shot. This guy's been all over the world, Mexico, you name it. He's hunted it. And he says, no, we got to get closer. We need to find you a brace point. You are unstable with the rifle right now, which was a great call for a new hunter, And we get to this face on this tidal flat, and I literally felt like I was in the army. It was sheer face, like straight up and down. And we literally had to boot the shoulder to get everybody up with all our gear. And this bear, I swear, it was at least 30 minutes, stayed patient and eating sawgrass. Like the entire time we're just scurrying, trying to get everything in order. And I bring you to my favorite part, which just felt so surreal and fake. In Alaska, you think that you're going to be the first person to be everywhere in Alaska. If you ever go anywhere, don't think that ever. Somebody's been there. Not to say that you might be the first person to go somewhere, but it's almost guaranteed somebody's already been there. So where I was at, it just felt really like where nobody's been.
But for that, exactly, for that moment, it feels like, holy crap. And even if not, maybe somebody has been there, but sometimes you got to think, how many people have been here? Because there's not a lot of people who have the will to go and do that.
Well, that brings you to my next thing. We're hundreds of miles from any civilization. Hundreds.
Right.
If not even 500 miles. There was a tree where I used as a rest that was perfectly sawn for a rifle rest. With a hacksaw or a chainsaw. It was perfectly sawn. Like, there's no other way around it. It was cut by a human being. Direct view of where that bear was at 312 yards. And it brings me to my favorite part. Not even pulling the trigger. It was before I pulled the trigger, and when the cameraman was setting up, I had Doug on the right side and I had Will on my left side. I'm heavy breathing, my heart rate's going crazy, and I'm freaking out. And Doug's like, hey, would you mind waiting so I can get a perfect shot? And me, being a new hunter, I want my first large game animal to be professionally shot in film. Absolutely. Yeah, man, take your time.
Right.
And then I got my best friend Will over here on my left. Don't feel bad. You're my bestest friend.
No offense taken, John. No offense taken.
Your bestest.
My bestest.
Got to drink to that.
Drink to that, brother.
All right. Doug's like, all right, you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I look over the Will and I'm like, hey, I need ear protection. And Will heard, hey, you should put in ear protection. Will's deaf. He can't hear shit. I said, no, not for you. You plug your ears. I need ear protection. He goes, fuck you. He hands me the earplugs, and Doug's over here is like, you gonna fucking shoot the bear or not? It just kind of got chaotic. I'm like, let me take my breath. And Doug's just getting really impatient. And, I look at my shot, and I'm like, okay, how far is it? Will goes, it's 300 yards. Now, and I thank God Will said it was 300 yards, because if I would have heard 312 yards, not just a base number, I think the shot would have been very different. And I thank him so much for that. It was just a base round number. It was one shot, one kill. The bear spun around once, and within less than 5 seconds, the bear expired. And I will say, when you're hunting big game, pulling the trigger is the easy part. Like, honestly, it's easy to pull a trigger. It's hard to pack out that bear.
I was gonna
It's
say
hard
it's the
to
packing out.
flush it out. It's hard to do everything with it. You know?
Which it's you even get to the point to where your most recent bear, right? How long ago was that one killed?
May 17th. It's actually this one we're sitting on.
That's where I was getting at. We've got this bear pelt, and this is his most recent one. And it's funny, this skull right here too. If you want to grab it.
Yeah, I'll grab that. It's not the computer over. Just wiggle this here.
This is your most recent one. You killed this one here in Seward,
this
right?
was a large male. I think it was 16 squared. So it was 16 and 9/16 squared.
I mean, that's a big creature, man.
Yeah.
Just the pelt itself,
I got about 90 pounds of meat off it. It doesn't seem like a lot for a 300-pound bear.
That's the one that we're processing. We've been processing this evening.
Yeah, we got some sausage and some bratwurst over there. It's going to be delicious. But, the yield on a bear isn't much.
Right.
It's mostly bone, fur, and fat.
Right.
And organs. There's not much meat. Bear are very lean animals at certain points of the year when you're hunting them. Like, my smallest bear yielded about 45 pounds. My largest bear was about 90 pounds of meat. And probably about 15 pounds of fat. That's amazing to think about. You just see a giant bear. You'd think there's a whole bunch of meat on there. It's just underwhelming on how much meat there isn't there.
Right. It's funny, so this skull actually... Thank you, John.
No problem.
This skull, he gifted me this recent season. And it's, to this day, I still say that it's the most extravagant gift I've ever received, Not that I haven't been gifted some amazing things by some amazing people, but it's like, this is one of those things that it's like, you took the time to go hunt this thing down.
Yeah.
Pack it out, right? And then now here I am, you felt...
It wasn't even... And I had to bleach this and boil the skull out.
Exactly. All
take
of
the brains
things.
out.
We're here processing it, and it's just...
Did I mark the bottom?
I believe
I
you
did.
somewhere.
I usually put my date, my
Right there.
insignia on there.
And it's, right there. I don't know if the camera can see it. But, it's such an honor to have this as a piece in my home or here on the podcast.
Well,
I want to make
you
it...
mean a lot to me as a friend, man.
You mean the world to me as a friend.
And I feel the best way a man can share the love is to hunt something and be able to share it with his friend,
Absolutely. And that's just to put out there, it's that's such a crazy gift to me, you know what I mean? Because if it were mine, you know what I mean? And I guess it's different when you've had multiple bears, If it were up to me, personally, it was up to me to give it to you, I would have them all. But I have nowhere to put 9 bear skulls. Right, absolutely.
And not to dilute the gift, I feel, like I said again, it's very special to hunt something and be able to make you a part of it.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, is it's very honorable and special to me that you were like, look, man, I'm running out of space. I can't think of a better person to give
absolutely.
this to. You know what I mean?
It's hard to give something away that you've taken life away
absolutely.
from.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
Every bear, every moose, every animal that I've ever hunted in my life, there has been tears shed.
Right.
Every time.
Absolutely. And there's that's not a wrong way to feel about that. 1,000%.
If it weren't for me, this bear would be still walking in the woods, or some other guy would have got it.
Right. Absolutely. Or another bear. Or another bear, or wolves, or however it would
however the bear would have
out.
lived, yeah.
Right. And it's such an extravagant thing whenever you take life into a perspective as such.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You have a better respect for it, too.
You have a tremendous respect for it. And That's another thing about this state that I think definitely brings that from the fishing to the hunting to just the outdoors period is it gives you a respect for these animals, these creatures, these beauties, and the life forms. You know what I mean? And I think that's entirely something different. You know.
Absolutely.
You
Very
also
special.
just recently, yeah, I say recently like it wasn't today, but brought me some moose too that you got on a hunt.
Yeah. It just it was my first moose actually. It's a nice fork moose. I put a lot of meat in my freezer. It was an overwhelming amount of work to process this moose. Shout out to Bob White and Billy Donnelly. Those guys really put in the work and helped me get this thing rocking and rolling, putting some meat in my freezer to get me out to Delta Junction. Wow. That was the most insane, exciting hunt that I've ever been a part of on the aspect of big game hunting. It was intense. It was insightful. There was parts where I was terrified alone. There's a lot of brown bears where I was at. You know, a lot of signs and stuff. You know, and I was alone for 7-8 hours alone.
That was on, and sorry to interrupt. That was on one of the islands, correct?
No. This is up in Delta Junction, like
Okay.
mile 1,000, headed towards like that starts with the C, Canada.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and I'm on an Air Force base, and I had to pay my way to get in there for like a premium fee or something. It was like $10. It was nothing, honestly, but to get up there was hard. You know,
Right.
1,000 miles to go hunt something and to put in your freezer is just insane to think about.
Right.
You know, and it wasn't even really about the hunt. It was more exciting, and you learn a lot about yourself hanging out with different types of people. Don't look at her, she won't look at us.
No, she's already on her way.
Oh,
Hello.
damn it.
And it's a he.
That's a he.
Yeah.
Look at this thing. It's like a
grab him and you
like
roll
a
over.
weasel.
Yeah. Get out of here, dude. He is a sweet cat, but I'm just, you know.
I think he's broken. I
I
think
think he's broken. It's absolutely just to make that trip up there, and then the effort to find that.
Did I tell you how many miles I rode on the 4-wheeler?
No.
800 miles on a 4-wheeler for 9 days.
You went 1,000-something miles, right, to get to Delta Junction.
I actually got throttle thumb. I couldn't close his hand for a month. I couldn't pick up anything for a month after that.
I've had trips on the Harley where like my hand would be so closed that it would get sore, and
so you get.
I've had Harleys where they didn't have cruise. You know what I mean? And I couldn't set it and then drop my hand. So I had to sit there like this.
Throttle thumb.
And there were times where like my hand was so hard whenever like I would have to, of course, to start, but after a trip, you know, I would go to ride the bike and I would have to throttle it to get it out of there. But then if I was on the highway, I would have to roll it with my palm.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I understand what you mean.
I had one point where I was holding my hand like this and using my middle finger to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Or I'll just lean into it and have my rifle in the other. It was pretty dangerous while I was driving that thing, but 800 miles. I think it was like 812 miles total, and like 4 or 5 jugs of gas just to go moose hunting.
That's ridiculous. That's not ridiculous.
That was just me. There was 2 other guys too.
Right.
And only one other guy got a moose. And then the drive back, holy cow. After doing that, and then I got real sick. I actually got Giardia and walking pneumonia both at the same time.
And Giardia, if I'm correct, is that the beaver sickness or?
Correct.
Okay. And I've heard that stuff will last for.
It comes out of both ends. And
it's bad.
30 days.
Right.
30 days of sickness, vomiting, and diarrhea. It's absolutely nauseating. And then I got the chills, and then I had walking pneumonia. I was in bad shape. I thought for sure I was going to die on that trip. It was intense. I really worked myself down and whittled myself going on that hunt. Like I said, if you let Alaska get underneath your skin, it will kill you.
Right, absolutely. If you're not careful and respectable about it,
100%.
Absolutely.
Don't take more than it gives.
I do want to ask, we've talked about our overnighter, and we've talked about hunting, and to my understanding, you've gone on quite a few offshore trips, and I just wanted to ask, one, what other kind of fishing have you done, and two, whenever you're on some of these, I mean, and it could be offshore trips, it could be hunting trips, it could be inland trips, you know what I mean, where you're fishing the rivers, fishing the lakes. What is some of the more beautiful, outstanding sights that you've seen or occurrences? You know what I mean?
Well, it brings me back to the wildlife. It wasn't even a trip, actually. You ever been on the KFT boats?
I haven't gone, but I see them out there a lot.
Oh, highly recommend the KFT boat for sure. The KFT boats will take you out for less than $200.
Kenai Fjord
And
Tours
take
is
you out
what KFT stands for.
Like 100 miles, I think it was, 80 or 200 miles on an 8-hour trip. And highly recommend if you do a trip on Kenai Fjord Tours, bring a battery pack or a phone charger of some sort. Keep your phone on airplane mode once you get out of the service area, because it'll go in roaming.
And roaming will kill your battery.
So quick.
And it'll really, if you go in roaming enough, it'll also create issues with some data plans.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You have to reset your phone and set it back onto the actual satellite plan or whatever cell towers. But back to the question, KFT, Kenai Fjords Tours, the bubble feeding on the whales.
I think that's funny because last episode, me and Dad were talking about the bubble feeding, and from what I've seen is, that's one of those things that like most people love, And talking with Dad about it, I would have thought,
It's humbling.
Because well, there's that, and with him, I would have thought one of the things that him or Mom would have talked about, and I would love to get Caitlin on and tell about her puffins and everything like that. Excuse me a moment. I got it. Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
All right. I would have thought. No, you're good. I would have thought, something that would have been brought up is the way that the puffins swim under the water, or the way that certain things do this. And with a lot of customers, I've even noticed it still then, is like, what I see a lot of the entertainment from people, or like what people really have an adore for, is the bubble feeding. And it's an extravagant thing to witness, without a doubt.
You just feel so small.
Yeah.
You see a 120-foot flipper flapping up and slapping the water, and these giant bubble rings coming up out of the water, and you can hear, if the boat engine's not running, the sounds. They're immense, and you can feel them through your body.
Absolutely.
It makes you feel like a speck.
It does. And that's another thing is that I love about the Alaska. That the Alaska outdoors and the adventure of it all is everything here makes you feel small. Makes you realize like how.
You ever look at a mountain and you're like, I can do that, and then try to climb it?
Yeah.
And then you get to like a certain point, like, what the hell was I thinking?
Well, see, me and Fisher actually, we built that cabin. We're in the process of. In fact, I plan on going up sometime soon to put a couple more walls on. But we're building that ice fishing cabin up. I'm not going to say the lake because I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want to be messed with. But up on a lake, and whenever I say it's about a mile straight hike through the snow, and we did this last winter over the wintertime. It's sick. I'll have to show you photos, but it's about a mile and a half straight regular walk, and then it's about a mile and a half straight incline. And whenever I say incline, we're more like mountain goats trying to get up there.
How are you getting material up there?
we're building out of bare logs that we're cutting down ourselves.
So you're milling out there as well?
No, just
So
bare
you make
logs.
log home actually?
Log home.
Oh wow, that's gotta be insane.
Bark and all.
Wow.
We're just cutting it. We pack the chainsaw up. The two heavy things is we usually have packs. You know, fuel, chainsaw, shotgun for safety. No, we don't bring beer.
Damn.
We don't bring beer. We have brought other things, but not beer. We love this state.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. But that was once upon a time, of course.
Hey, speaking of guns, I want to bring up one point. I was looking at these massive shells. I was kind of curious where those came from.
Oh, these, man, check that one out. So, whenever I worked with DOT, right?
Yeah, these things are massive. Is this
They-
the one with the stuff in it, or you got the other one?
I've got the one with the stuff in it. You mind if I see that one just so I can show?
Yeah,
show an
absolutely.
angle? These things are,
Yeah, we're getting a light going too.
yeah, I could not tell you what the cartridge actually is,
It's a
right?
howitzer 35 millimeter round.
It's a howitzer 35 or 40.
It's either Here's a light for you.
Howitzer 35 or 40. I don't know if the camera can see that. Cartridge.
Show
And
me the
it's,
inside. That's pretty cool on the inside.
oh yeah.
That's where the fuse is.
And so we used these whenever we were actually doing avalanche control with the state of Alaska. So we have these gun pads spread out, all across the roads, mostly in pullouts, right? And what we'll do is we'll shoot off a certain amount of these rounds into the mountains to create these slits in them that creates a man-made avalanche.
Wow.
So that we can mitigate how they fall onto the road, or if they fall onto the road while people are active.
What's in the actual load? What is your shell? Is it a steel, lead, or is it explosive? What's in it?
So as funny as it is, whenever you set up the gun, right?
Yeah.
And it you have to trailer it in on a truck, right?
Okay.
And we create these little stations where we get these ready. These are preloaded in a cardboard tubing.
Okay.
With gunpowder.
I could imagine it's a lot.
Yeah, and so we have one station where you pull these out, right? And usually there's 11 charges of gunpowder in it.
Wow.
But you pull one out, right? Depending on the situation, you pull one out, right? And then you have another station where you actually take the projectile head, right? And you put it, and we have these wrenches that you tighten it into to the casing.
You have to hand tighten them in?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Must be a lot of power.
It's you have a wrench. You do turn it pretty hard, but I mean you can see there's not like there's a threaded piece right here.
No,
You know what I mean?
it just
So
looks like it's lit.
So the entire piece, I'm assuming, just pulls out. I don't know the entire science behind it. And we over the course of last winter, I probably did 3 or 4 avalanche control shootings, which is it's insane that we do that as an organization, right? As
it's
a non-military,
insane to think about.
it's insane to
To
think
shoot
about
at
that
a
we
mountain
do
with a live ammunition.
with a howitzer, a live cannon, as
a military weapon.
a military weapon as a non-military organization.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Does that take a lot of training to get on?
The people who actually fire the gun and run the gun, yes. Granted, there's a lot of people in the process. So
I imagine there's a lot of math.
there's a lot of math that goes into it. We have a lot of guys who we have the guys who close off the roads. So like actually we did one up here at the Y.
Oh
right?
wow, okay.
So where it splits off from here to go to Anchorage or Soldotna, we did one there. And so we had to have one guy north of the Y, one guy south of the Y, and then one guy down the
Closing
road
all
of
3
Soldotna.
roads.
Closing all 3 roads, right? And we'll run walkies, where we're like, it'll be weird because like how do we know whenever the last car has gotten through, whenever we are letting cars through? Because we'll shoot off somewhere between 10 and 20 rounds, 25 rounds, you know? And we can't just do that straight for 5 hours.
No.
6 hours, you know what I mean?
That's a lot of close traffic time.
There's a lot of close traffic time. So we let people in and out. And what we'll do is, or what we would do whenever I was with them, so like, let's say if I had this road closed off and they were going through a certain way, I would say, last car, green Toyota SUV.
You ever have problems with people pulling off?
So that was another thing. I'm glad you asked. We had one car that was specifically, he sat at the gun pad, but he would drive through the route and clear it. There's nobody hanging out. You know, he would make sure there's nobody hanging out. And so, like, actually, that's a great point because, you know, just off the Y, if you turn off to go towards Sitdowns, there's that pull-off right there on the left next to the lake. We did have some people actually park there and stop there. And so he would pull in there and be like, hey, guys, I hate to say it, but y'all got to skedaddle on through here. You know, we're closed for avalanche mitigation, you know, and I know you passed the checkpoint. Like, that's what we're doing. I'm going to need y'all to move. I'm sorry, you know.
Yeah.
And so we would do that. And then, you know, it's a crazy thing to watch an avalanche happen in front of your face.
I've never actually seen one, and I've lived here for almost 7 years.
It is wild. And I can say, you know, Mom and Dad were actually telling me that they had seen one, a natural one not long ago. But it's crazy to see one of our man-made ones because it's just, you know, it's crazy to watch the amount of snow that comes down and how viciously it comes down.
Well, it takes out everything, trees, rocks, and it just peels the earth away like it's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen pictures in briefings for that or during the course to be able to be a part of the gun squad, you know. We've seen pictures of times that it's caught cars and taken the cars with him and shoved a car into a tree so much that you couldn't tell it was a car.
Wow.
You
crumbled it.
Yeah. Those avalanches definitely aren't anything to play with. You know what I mean? It's its own thing, man, and that goes back, that it all ties into it. You know, Alaska just being one of those places that truly humbles you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's you got to be careful. There's just no room or time to be inconsiderate about it all.
Irrespectable of it, you know what I mean?
In your house, it's okay, but once you're outside the door, it's just, you got to be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. All the way around, you know? I was even talking last episode about, you know, there's been times where I've been headed home from somewhere, walking home, and I've come down the alleyway. I was living down on 4th, you know?
Yes. There's a lot of bears down over there on 4th.
Exactly. And that's what I'm getting at. And I was walking home, and there was a black bear in our trash can, you know?
Yeah.
And me and him, we locked eyes for a second. I had to be like, hey, bud, all you, dog.
I will tell you a crazy story. So, I don't know if you guys know about this mountain. It's actually to the right of us here.
Is that Marathon or the other
Mount
one?
Marathon. It's an actual marathon, and it's almost 2,100 feet.
Right.
And we had a bear, and the fishing game scared it. And the fastest runner to run up and down it was 43 or 42 minutes, I believe, to run up and down it. And for the marathon race, this bear, the fishing game timed it, ran up and over the entire mountain to its entirety in 8 minutes.
That's crazy.
It can clear 100 feet in less than 2 seconds.
Right. The bear, the
Bears are fast.
capabilities of the bear.
They can run any direction from a standing point.
It's not even their speed per se. It's their ability to go straight up walls, straight up anything, you know?
You know what scares me most?
The terrains that they can go over is ridiculous.
You know what scares me most as a bear hunter and about a bear? How quiet they are.
Yeah, we talked about that last episode as well. You would think this 800-pound, 600-pound bear would be snapping twigs and everything throughout the woods, but they don't.
They're like a mouse.
Yeah.
They're like a mouse.
Keep talking, John. Excuse me for a moment.
Never seen a animal ever anywhere that could just nimbly work through its way through terrain in Alaska without making any sounds at all.
Right.
Like, I challenge you as our viewers to go out in your front yard or somewhere in the woods and walk 25 yards in the woods without breaking a stick or a leaf or making any noise. It is very humbling to know how a bear can just do it with no issue at all. Just does it straightforward, natural, no issues at all. It just comes as instinct. And it just blows my mind. And brown bears are the same way, and they're about 1,300 pounds, if not even bigger. In Kodiak Island, they get pretty big. They get like 2,000 pounds.
And I know that's a thing, like, I'm out of breath.
You cleared those stairs pretty quick.
Yeah.
Pretty fast for a skinny guy.
Yeah. That's another thing is, like, you know, and I know we have a similar mentality whenever we hunt whitetail back home, you know what I mean? We're trying to crack as little limbs and everything as possible, but as quiet as we're trying to be, there's only a certain amount of how quiet we can actually be. And it still doesn't,
It's not enough.
It doesn't compare.
They're designed apex predator, perfect killing machine for the woods. If you look at these paws, it's just absolutely amazing. The technology and just the adaptations that are just built into this. Like, when I skin these out, these are all full of fat. It's all pad, like a dog's paw.
Right.
And you would think these claws would tap around, break. It's like a sponge, man. It's like a wet sponge touching the ground.
Right.
And just makes zero sound. Like, I'll fall asleep at the bear stand, like, for like 6 hours. I'll just KO. And our bear trail camp will have like 6 or 7 bears that came to the stand while I was sleeping.
And that's
and I had no idea.
The abilities that they have, you know, and that's the thing is, you know, of course they're made for it, but it's still crazy to think that that's a creature, you know.
Which just makes me think about the times that I wasn't a hunter and I'm in the woods and I had no idea that they're there.
Right. Right, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And people who don't hunt, who have no idea that they're there and think they're just okay in the woods. Like, no, that bear was just sitting in that tree watching you, waiting for you to mess up.
He just didn't care for you, dude. That's you know.
He didn't like the way you smelled.
Oh.
You smell like a yuppie.
There's so many activities to be able to indulge in here, you know.
Wow,
and I do understand, you know, you do a lot of fly fishing as well.
I am actually about on my 7th year of fly fishing consecutively.
Right.
I really made it my damnedest to learn every type of fishing when I lived down south.
Right.
I learned a yo-yo, conventional, spinning, fly fishing, and hand lining, cast netting. I wanted to learn versatility. I don't know if that's the
Versatile.
Versatile
Range.
array of fishing. But fly fishing really took me for a ride, and it's not cheap doing it. I will say that. But it's definitely something you can advance in if you're interested. You learn a lot about like fur and how it absorbs water or how it repels water or how it floats or how it sinks or how it has different actions. And it all depends on how you tie it. And fly fishing can be very, very difficult or very, very easy depending on if you set it up correctly.
Right.
You know, I just got some floating line from one of those fly shops heading towards like Cooper's Landing, and I switched my line up when I got the 7-8 weight, and I bought line for it, and I hated it. And then I had an experienced 30-year plus fly fisher give me like this $500 fly fishing line. I didn't even know a fishing line got that expensive.
Right.
And it was like throwing a spinning line. It was like day and night. I felt like a professional. I was roll casting. I was doing everything.
I've seen you with that. Whenever I just got you that 6-7 weight.
Oh, it was beautiful.
I mean, with the fly line that I had
it was amazing.
Spun on there for you.
Yeah, that was perfect setup. You couldn't get any better.
Man, I tried real hard to get, just the best setup that I could for you. Which my intentions whenever I bought you that rod, and it's what I told you, was like, man, I'm gonna get you the 7-8 Behemoth, the Reddington Behemoth, with the Kenai Red rod. With
the combo
7-8,
fishing.
yeah. And the thing is, that's the combo that I run up here, and it's a great combo.
You can kill 60-pound lingcod on it.
Well, you can kill 60-pound lingcod on what you got.
It doesn't matter the size. That thing will kill it.
Yeah. And it's the one that I have is such a great combo. But whenever I found out they didn't have, first of all the rod that I was looking for, and then they didn't have the reel that I was looking for, I was like, okay, what is the next best thing or even better? And so I got to looking at it, and I went with the Okuma STV. But because whenever I was looking at the things, which the Okuma STV is almost what I went with before I ended up with the Behemoth.
It works efficiently.
I love the Behemoth, but that STV is also something that's not to be taken lightly.
The drag, I don't think any other drag could have handled that fish.
Right.
The way, and I'm not really an Okuma aficionado. I like Daiwa.
Daiwa's good.
And Penn. Penn and Daiwa have always been my top go-to.
Penn and Daiwa are good. And the thing is, Okuma is up there with them.
I've never fished it.
I have that spin rod that has the Daiwa rod with the Okuma.
Yes, the one that's in the camper. I've seen that one. That was great.
It's in my storage right now. That blue one.
Yes.
And that's my baby. Up until now, which I have that custom rod being built that's going to go with the Daiwa Saltwater.
The one that you're building downstairs?
No, it's a custom rod that I have a builder making me actually right now.
Oh wow!
He's custom spinning me a custom jig rod that will also have the ability to handle a tuna for a Daiwa Saltiga, and it's acid wrapped with the colors that I want.
Like a medium heavy rod?
No, it's more heavy, fast action for sure.
So quick tip's got thin tip, and then heavier rod.
It's pretty much a hard rod all the way through. It can handle it'll be able to handle any size tuna.
You'd be able to snag with this thing if you wanted to, huh?
Snag? Yeah, but
I've snagged with halibut rods up here.
It's a conventional. It's a conventional.
Okay.
It's made for it's gonna be made for
belt fishing.
It's gonna be perfect for lingcod jigging. That's the main goal that I got it for. Me, lingcod and halibut jigging. And for if I ever go down south, man, I could catch one, of course, any kind of grouper. And
grouper from the fight.
Or, if I want to surf fish with it for shark. And then even tuna. If I wanted to put in a tuna rod, I had the handle actually, so it's a split handle. You know how they have on bass rods where it has right under the reel, it has the padding, and then it has just the fiberglass and then the padding at the bottom?
Yes.
So that entire centerpiece is made out of hard metal. So if I want to put it in a rod holder, and it's split like that.
It has your X on the bottom?
It's split like that, but if I... No. But if I want to put it in a rod holder and use it that way, like for a halibut or for a tuna, if I'm letting live baits out or however it may be, it'll still hold up to being put in that rod holder.
Right on.
But what I was saying is, besides from what I have coming up with that, and I can't wait to see how that rod comes out.
I'm excited to see it.
That Daiwa and that Okuma combo, it's been such a good... I'm a big fan of Okuma in the last couple of years.
I like I said, I've kind of strayed away from it. And I think a lot of it had to be with the Bass Pro, the way they portrayed it when I was younger. It's just a lot of the older reels when they first started, I didn't like them. But coming into that fly rod and the fly reel, it changed my outlook on the performance and the way it fought that fish. It fought it like it was a rockfish.
Right. I mean, it had to, or else it was not gonna. It was not gonna.
No, I was losing
fish.
that fish.
Yeah. It's I think that setup that I got you, and I put. Granted, I'm sitting there inside the shop that I got it at, and I'm like, well, if I can't get him what I told him I was going to get him, what can I get him that's going to make it worth his while, And I put a lot of thought process, and not to mention it wasn't cheap,
No, that was an expensive set.
Granted,
I feel like I owe you some cuts still.
Granted, no, and I did the math on it, not that I was counting or anything, but I very much came out on top because it was a good 5, 6, 7 days full of full cuts.
Well, absolutely.
Not even me filleting half of it and bringing it to you. It was days where I was like, I'm
going home. See ya.
I'm going home. Let me clean this boat on the way in,
and I was like,
and bring you those fish. And so I definitely came out on top, no doubt. And I didn't have a doubt, but I was curious how close to that amount it was, bro. And it just the thought and the time
it
to
paid for
pick that
itself
rod out.
and its performance.
Right. I'm more stoked. That was another thing. Whenever you caught that lingcod on it, I was like, bro, I'm so stoked that you caught this lingcod on this rod that I got you over these endeavors, these trading endeavors. And I was like, on the jig that I let you borrow out of my bag, and now I've given that jig to you because you earned it, right?
Yes.
It's such a sick. Even though I wasn't a part of that catch, I still feel like I was a tiny bit a part of that catch.
100% part of that catch. There's going to be a time when I have the finance for it. I have this guy is Outdoor Taxidermy. If you want to follow his page, we'll put his link in the bio. He is one of the best live art taxidermists I've ever seen for Alaskan fish. And he's going to do it with the hitchhiker in his mouth. And we're retiring that rod. I don't know if I already told you that.
You have. You're going to keep the jig on it, right?
We're retiring the rod and the reel. And it's going on the wall.
It's going on the
house I just built.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. You're in the process of building your home.
Yeah. I just built myself a tiny home. It's not the first one I built. My first one was a 12 or 14 by 16. It was a really big house. You think about houses like for a tiny home, they're about 24 by 12. And I build them a lot smaller because, finance can only get you so far in certain things. But I built an even smaller tiny home here in Soldotna, Alaska. It's a 12 by 10. It's three sheets of plywood big. 12 by 8, sorry, 12 by 8. And it cost me under $4,000.
That you can't beat that for a home. You know what I mean?
It's insulated. It's got somewhere to sleep, plenty of storage, and a cook.
And the most important part, right? It's owned.
100% owned.
Right?
Yeah, I did all the electric, everything. I did A to Z on that thing. The only thing I don't have is water right now. I just kind of been doing the borrowing either the neighbor's house or going over to the laundromat, but I don't really mind.
Right.
Until I can get more finance, I'm going to pipe it in, do some water.
Nice. Right.
And then add on to it even more, spend another $5,000 and build a laundry room and everything.
Right.
But it is so special to be living in somewhere, it's almost surreal actually, to live in somewhere that you built with your own two hands.
Right.
And for it to be in Alaska's weather. You know, it actually survived that 5.3 earthquake that we got.
I did. I assumed. You know,
It survived it. It had no issues, and I was just like overwhelmed with joy to see something that I built withstand the forces of nature with something so insane. You know, not the whole foundation, the entirety of the house got rocked for a solid 30 seconds. This was a big earthquake.
Right.
And it woke me up in a dead sleep at 9 o'clock in the morning. It scared the shit out of me.
I know that was our first night here that it happened.
You were here for it.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that?
I wasn't awake.
You asleep?
Dude, I was asleep. I slept through the whole thing.
Dude, I was riding my REM cycle and it just fucked up my sleep. I was so tired. You know when that REM cycle hits, you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Why?
Why? Yeah, there was no sleep after that, man. I was waiting for the tsunami warning and all that, but nobody really actually got one. It was not an underwater earthquake. It was above ground. There's actually pictures of the mountains where they broke apart. I'll have to send you that. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, send me that. You know, it's crazy. I think it's funny that you bring up tsunamis, man, because, you know, I feel like every time I do an Alaskan talk, you know, an Alaskan conversation,
Yeah.
it ends up back to everything here is trying to kill you.
100%.
You know, tsunamis, you know, people take those and you know, sure, it's been however long since the last
64.
Since 64, since the last big tsunami hit here. But I remember, you know, I've been out on the water and the Coast Guard has been like, look, guys, this isn't small craft advisory. This is all craft advisory.
Yeah, and you're in
For
how big of
tsunami.
a boat?
I was on the Anichka, so I was in
A
a
30-foot boat?
35-foot boat. And I remember they were like, it's such and such yards from Pony or no, it was Nuka Bay.
You got a wave coming through?
And we're pulling out of Nuka Bay, right?
Just gotta ride the wave, boys.
And I remember I'm sitting in the cab and we're headed out, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I die, I die. I better get to start filleting just in case I don't. So I just go out and then like I'm like looking for it and I'm just running through fish, you know, filleting on the back deck. Actually, I don't think I was on the Anichka that day. I think I was on the Salty Loop.
Who's that?
That's
Bub's boat.
That's Bub's boat. I was on the loop with Tim Tim was my captain.
Yeah.
And you know, the customers, they're
August?
freaking out. Oh, was it in August?
I think I remember you running some trips in August.
Yeah, it may have been. I ran very few
August
trips
was
on that
hard
boat.
this year.
Man, I don't know. I feel like we had a great year. A very satisfactory year.
You filleted all your fish sometimes, so I don't really know how to gauge it.
Yeah. I mean, I got very quick on the Anichka, but the thing is, with those twin 300s, you know,
You get in quick.
Yeah.
I've never seen a boat run through the harbor. Not the harbor, but the actual where you can see the cape coming in. It's insane how fast that boat can move.
Once we got those new twins, we were one of the, if not the fastest boat in the harbor.
I would have to say you're right in the line with the Alaskan Dream Charters, Logan.
Yeah.
You guys were hand in hand.
I don't think he's Alaskan Dream Charters, is he? On the Outcast?
Yeah,
I don't think he was. He might have been, but I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure.
It may be. I'll have to ask. I've got some buddies down at Alaskan Dream Charters. But, I mean, we were definitely... We were fast. And what was funny was, you know, I went from working deltas to that boat. And at
For
first...
sure that was a change.
Yes.
Got a big deck, filet room. You don't have customers breathing down your neck.
Well, the boats, the deltas handle the waves a whole lot better
the scuppers push out all the water too.
and it's a 55-foot boat. You know what I
it's
mean?
riding that wave like it's a guitar.
Everything rides everything like it's rollers instead of.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times where like it's so rough out there that I would, and thank God I had a good predictable captain that I could learn his driving styles. So like I knew if he slowed down at this moment, we had something heavy coming, and so I would just hold my knife to where I knew it wouldn't cut me,
Or
and I would post my waist up on the fillet table, right? And people would be like, "You ain't never heard of bibs?" Because at first, if it was a sunny day and it wasn't rainy, I didn't like to wear bibs.
I hate bibs, dude.
Dude, I hated wearing bibs. So all of my hoodies, a lot of my hoodies.
Is that why you had that slime trail?
Well, it's not even just a slime trail, but I mean, yes, getting off the boat, yes, I would have that slime trail right here.
Dude, this guy would get off a boat smelling like he just took a shower or just coming off a fresh date at the end of the season. And we would mess with him, be like, is that the herring? Is that the smell of the herring oil? Dude would come off smelling like a fresh dude every time after July. It was insane to me. And he would catch hogs and hit all the limits and still smell good. You know, it might be weird to say, but honestly, I have never seen a deckhand do that in my entire 6 years I've been here.
Well, it was a lot of well, first of all, I showered a lot. It was a big
How
thing.
are you showering 80 miles out in the coast?
Well, no, I'm just saying it was a big thing to me to smell good before I showed up, right?
Well, deckhands don't shower very often, do they?
No,
They're stinky fuckers.
They're just stinky fuckers. It still is an important part to me to be able to represent to my customers,
well,
right?
absolutely. You
Smell good around them.
Couth.
Right, and I can't talk to them and entertain them if my breath smells, right?
You got that
or
halitosis breath.
or if I smell. But you know, it makes a difference in the reaction that they have to you for sure. You know.
I didn't even see you put this here. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, no rush.
Hell yeah.
It's been a wild ride these last 2 years, man.
I don't think I've changed a thing. I have learned a lot about myself. I have grown as a person, and I've experienced experiences a lot of people haven't experienced in their life at the young age that I am, and it's surreal.
I'm to the same point, and you know, I won't say I haven't changed a thing, you know, because I'm still trying to always grow and you know, and broaden myself as a man. But you know, as far as the experiences, you know, I'm always taking on new experiences, even up to my relationship and this upcoming wedding that I have coming. You know.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
I'm excited to see where you go on that and be a part of that as a friend, family, and
it's very funny because you know you've been there throughout my entire relationship. From point A.
Point Nemo, dude.
Yeah, and it's you know it's great, and you know it's funny because like and I know you didn't know me before the relationship necessarily for that long, if at all, you know.
No, not really.
But most of my friends that do, you know, they know. They're like, dude, you're in love, you know.
Oh, I knew you were in love, and I didn't even have to know. You could see it in your eyes, the way you talked about her, and just the way you flaunted yourself and carried yourself. You were head over heels.
And I say word. There's no word about
no,
it.
still.
You know, I do anything for that woman, and it's because you know. Even to this point, you know, we're engaged now. We're doing all these things. Life gets hectic. My life gets hectic. All the things in it gets hectic, and it's still, you know, it's crazy because my faith for her and our relationship unwavers. You know, it's never wavered, and it's wild to have something so healthy like that you can fall into, no matter what it is you're going through. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's really where I'm coming at with this, you know, with saying, you know, I'm experiencing all the things now. It's, you know, even within my relationship, I'm experiencing absolutely, you know, things that I've never considered enduring.
I didn't even tell you that I'm falling in love with this girl that I've known since I was like younger. She's the most amazing woman I've ever met.
Yeah?
Dude, she's amazing. Her name's Christina, and
Shout out Christina.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, no. Maybe, I don't know. But man, I love this girl. She is a very special person that's been in my life for almost 7 years now. We just started recently dating in the last couple weeks, and we have grown together as a couple. And I want to be somewhere in your shoes here in the next year, and hopefully she doesn't see this. I love this woman.
Hopefully she does. Hopefully she does, and she feels the same way.
I'm head over heels for her, man.
Nothing's wrong with that, bro. Nothing's wrong with that.
I just, when I think about her, and I just, you know that thump in your heart where it feels like you have a heart murmur?
Yeah.
Every time I think about that woman, I crave her.
And it's, you know, that's the thing is, you know, you say you hope to be in my shoes before too long, you know, and don't get me wrong, brother. Or I don't think you would get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying.
Really.
But you know, I'm sure you will, whether it be with her or with the right woman. You know, if she's not the right woman, not saying she isn't, but you know, there comes to a point to where, like, especially experiencing women and enduring the different relationships and things that we have throughout our lifetimes, there comes to a point to where it's like you feel that thump and you're like, holy crap, I've never felt this before.
I haven't.
Exactly.
It's just,
and then it continues,
it's crazy.
And then it continues and it continues. And it's like, even just now, as we're sitting here talking about my engagement, right?
Well, even thinking about Christina right now,
that's what I'm saying.
Feeling.
I, you know, me and Brittany have been together as, you know, and it's not been an exponentially long time, you know, but it's still like, you know, I feel like a lot of people's feelings for certain things in today's age, you know, those things fade, you know.
I put my guard up for so long too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't trust a lot of people, and this girl, she melts my heart like tallow on a hot burner.
I don't mean to get, you know, vulnerable and
I don't mind.
Sensitive on camera, you know.
No, I don't mind.
But I'll be real, you know. And these are the kind of conversations that come from true friends. It's so funny because exactly that. I put my guard up for so long. After all the things that I've endured, after all the encounters that I've had, after all the relationships, I've put my guard up for so long. And really, they didn't truly start to come down until after she had already said yes. And so that's a scary thing, right?
I 100% feel the same way. Like, it's scary how you say that.
That's
because
such a
my
scary
guard
thing.
went so far down. It was like I was a child again.
Well, even then, you know, we've already, you know, now we're engaged,
to it, you know?
Right? Now we're engaged, and it's like I'm at the point to where I can't help but share every bit of my heart with you, right?
Absolutely.
And so now my walls are down, and I'm becoming a vulnerable person whenever it comes to you, right? And this isn't a side of me that you've seen before, so it becomes scary because it's like, ooh. What do I? You know, I'm showing you this vulnerability.
You start flailing.
Yeah, it becomes a very, very scary thing, right? And you don't really know what to
expect
because you don't know whether or not it's going to run her off, scare her away, or
dude, that is the
anything.
worst feeling in the world. Saying something that it's like risky, but you feel it, and then that 10-second response just feels like an eternity.
It feels like an eternity, and the thing is, you know. We as humans, we have to learn that people need their time to learn and process to be able to respond.
Absolutely. It's hard for me.
And that's where I've gotten so blessed, right? Is like, even after that, you know, Brittany could have at any point in time said, look, you know, this isn't what I signed up for. I didn't sign up for a man that was this sensitive or this vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Right? Or, you know, if she wanted to label it as weak, you know, however she wanted to label it, she could have said, I didn't sign up for this because, you know, it didn't come out until after we were engaged. But instead of that, she has entirely embraced me for it, you know?
And that's true woman.
And that's true love.
Absolutely.
You know, it's definitely, it's something uncomparable. Because it's such a scary feeling before that, because you're like, you know, one, I didn't show you this side of me which not that I ever planned to or even wanted to put a name to this side of me, right?
It just naturally happens.
It just naturally happened, but I hate that it, not that I do now, but at the time I was fearful that it happened after the engagement.
Well, men in the society were taught to be hard and like rough around the edges. It's just hard for us to become soft and brittle and become malleable for the woman to see us under our soft, scaly layer,
Right, and it doesn't even have to be soft. You know what I mean? We can be strong to the rest of everybody else and everything else, but if we can be vulnerable and comfortable in our homes, right, and with our people, right?
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make you soft,
No,
to be able to be open and vulnerable with your feelings and those things. As long as you know that whenever it comes down to the outside world, you can be who you need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It's just, it's scary sometimes.
It's scary, dude. This life thing can be scary. This life and love thing can be scary.
Love is scary.
Love is scarier than anything else in this world.
I'm more scared of love than the bear.
Yeah, 1000%, dude. I'd rather go toe-to-toe with a bear than toe-to-toe with love.
100%. All the time. It's just, that bear's going to kick your ass. You don't know what to expect from love.
You don't know what to expect from love. Oh, dude, that's a quote right there.
100%.
That's a quote right there.
Yodel.
Yodel. Oh.
Oh.
These are only the kind of conversations you can really have with a true friend.
100%, man. And I love you for it.
I love you for it, man. I love you for everything. It's been
real these last 5 months.
It's been real these last 5 months.
It feels like I've known you for a lifetime.
Yeah. Well, it's okay because you will have known me for a lifetime.
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, I love you.
Fist bump in there. Oh
man.
Oh man. It's crazy because whenever you have friends like this, you also get to watch each other grow as people.
It's very special. It's almost like having a child, I imagine.
You get to watch people go through different chapters of their life and learn life, and no matter how old you are, life is crazy.
Yeah.
No matter what
it comes like a tsunami.
Yeah.
You just don't know where it's going to come from.
And sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down.
And sometimes your sideways are upside down.
No, that's right. I'll drink to that.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's and those friends in life like this, like the friendship that we have, is what makes it all worthwhile. For starters. But it's also, God forbid if something didn't work out with me and Brittany, I wouldn't have to sit in it alone. You know what I mean? I would have somebody
I would be there
call
by
at
your
any
side,
point in
dude.
time. Exactly. I would have.
I would fly to you anywhere you would want, just to have a coffee and breakfast.
And I hope it would be the same.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, we would find a way to be here for each other, and that's the true connections that you make. And as funny as it is, we were talking about this last episode with my parents. It's the connections. Alaska. Some of the connections that you make here, man. A lot of the connections that you make here are just weird and uncanny, but they become so connective.
I want to read you one of my lyrics. Keep talking.
That's all I wanted to say is, you the connections that you make here are so surreal. You know what I mean? Because it's to the point to where, like, we've only been jiving for 5 months, but like I've got you and I know you've got me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%.
Family type shit right here, And it's a beautiful thing, along with all the other connections that you make throughout life, and then especially in places like this.
So one of my lyrics that I write in one of my songs that I call Alaska's What I'm Talking About is the land keeps on teaching me what's real and true. because Alaska is what I'm talking about, where you can go fishing when life gets loud. You know, you just, anytime it gets crazy, you can go fishing, hunting, living the way you want to, but Alaska's got a way, it's weird. You gotta really experience it when you come up here, and it will teach you how to live, to love, to play, to experience new experiences, life, all around, or it will kick you right in the ass if you just take advantage of it.
Right. Or I can't say it any better. Absolutely. It's man, it's like you said in the beginning of this episode, you know, it teaches you so much about yourself. It teaches you so much about life. You know, and we talked about it last episode. You know, I'll even bring it up because I'm talking about connections of people and everything, you know. And I talked about it last episode. I don't mean to harp on this for the viewers. I'm sure you're tired of hearing about it. Be honest with you, I don't care. But, you know, it's crazy because me and Brittany are both from the South, right? And that's another thing.
I can't believe this story about you to share with the viewers. It is absolutely mind-boggling to think
We're
about.
both from the South, right? And for 9 months before I moved up here, now granted, you got to think, she spent last summer here working. Excuse me, John.
I think that cat wants to go in. Run, kitty, kitty, run.
That's my cat.
I didn't do anything to your cat.
Don't chase him.
Okay, sorry.
You like chasing pussy, huh?
We'll cut that part out.
It's gonna be in the bloopers.
Never mind, we're not gonna cut that part out. You know, we're both from the South, and for 9 months before I moved here. Now, granted, you got to think she came here at the end of not at the end of it, at the beginning of last season. I was here. I moved here during the season before, right?
Yeah.
But for 9 months before I moved here, I lived 15 minutes away from where she's lived her entire life.
Just mind-boggling to think about.
And we had to move. We had to come 3,500 miles away to meet. You know.
Blows my fucking mind away.
Right.
Like, just to think about the odds of somebody coming from the same town, going to another town that is also the same town, working in the general area, from the same town to another same town. Like, there's so many different fucking places in this world to think about.
To end up to be
If that's not meant to be true love, I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was meant to be. That is 100% meant to be. I mean, I don't know anywhere else. It's just mind-boggling.
It's dude, and it's one thing to hear the story, but to be a part of it and to be living in it, you know,
It feels surreal. It feels like I'm in
It
a book
is surreal.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You feel like you're writing a book where it's just like, oh, I know what's happening next, and then it just happens.
And I think it's so funny because you knew me throughout the early stages of me and her dating. You know, throughout the very, very early.
It was
early
like
stages.
watching a flower bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, all the things that there are to do here, and everything that you've all the adventures you've come through, everything that you've endured. You know, I do have to ask. You know, what are some of your most great Alaskan accomplishments, and then what are some things that you plan to accomplish in the future?
That's a tough one for the future part. But one of my greatest accomplishments in Alaska is when I was younger, I didn't really, I know you probably wouldn't be able to tell it from this podcast, I was one of those kids that was in the house, hated everybody, didn't know how to talk to anybody, and just kind of sat inside and just played on my phone like a hermit. And my biggest accomplishment moving here is that I sprouted and kind of just started talking to everybody and just becoming kind of like a chatterbox, and just learned a lot about myself and learned how to communicate with group members and community members in the social living status that I have here in Seward.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
It's tough. It was not easy because it can be stressful coming and learning all these people. You know, a lot of the people in Alaska, especially in the deeper parts, are rough around the edges, but once you get to meet them, they're soft. They're soft inside, and they have a lovable side for them.
You know, something me and my mom have always said about this place is it has unreal. That cat, goddammit, is shut up. It has unreal healing capabilities. You know.
Oh, 100%.
And I truly believe in that. You know. Lord, heal me. Heal me right now for what's about to happen to this cat. Excuse me, John, for one more time.
I'm going to take you to the Chinese restaurant if you keep talking.
He's running now. He's got tired of me moving his ass.
I would too if I got threatened with a Chinese restaurant.
I think he gets the gist.
Oh, I hope so. Then we're talking back, you shithead.
It's a good cat. I'm not going to hurt him. I haven't hurt him.
No, he's a great cat. He's just very boisterous.
very, very loud.
Yeah.
Shut
He
up.
wants to be part of the voice box.
He wants to be a part of the... Come here, buddy. You know what? I know what he needs. I know what he needs. Oh. Are you letting him in?
He needs mama.
Come here.
He wants to now. I'm sorry.
Come here.
Oh,
He's
God.
going to come be part of the podcast.
Dude, that cat weighs all of like 7 pounds.
Yes.
So it's a typical rockfish.
Typical rockfish right here. But,
What, you don't want to stay with us now?
no, you want it to be so voicative. You get to be on the podcast.
You're getting love now that you don't want.
But, you know, it's so crazy how,
Fucking dick.
it's so crazy how a place like this, you know, it creates these connections. I mean, like I said, we've always said it has supernatural healing properties, you know?
It's almost like a bell, if you think about it. It's got vibrations in the soil, in the land, in the water. And you go to sleep, you wake up fresh, and every time. You ever have like a really bad day, and it's like, fuck, I hate everything, I hate this, I hate that, and you go to sleep here in Alaska, and you wake up, and it feels like a brand new day.
Man, you know, I've always had this thing, and whether it be working with DOT or whether it be working on the water, you know, there'd be times where I was so caught up in what I was doing, you know, and I may have been having a rougher day. I had a lot on my chest emotionally. I had a lot on my heart, a lot on my shoulders. And I had plenty going on. And there'd be times where I'm on the back deck and I'm flaying, and something would speak to me, you know. And I would be like, hold on, stop. And I would usually have my earbuds in, and I would stop and I would breathe. And I would take in everything that's around me, you know. And in those moments, I would be like, look, dude, you're so small that all of these problems around you don't really matter. And even if they did matter, why can't you take the time to stop and enjoy this? And so I would, you know. And even with DOT, you know, I did a lot of driving. You know, and
A lot
during
of thinking time.
a lot of thinking time, and along with that thinking time, thank you, Mama. Along with that thinking time, I would be able to take time to be able to intake the mountains and the gorgeous sunrises and the ridges.
That
and
pink hue coming off the mountain.
yes,
Oh, it's so
and
beautiful.
it just, you know, it gives you. I mean, that's that healing process that I'm talking about. That's those healing properties that I'm talking about.
Cat's like, no.
That's that healing process that I'm talking about, you know. It's surreal, you know.
You had your goddamn tuna, you're done. We're just fattening them up for the Chinese restaurant. Oh.
Well, John, we are coming to the last, man, I don't know, 20 minutes of the podcast. We've pushed this one a little bit further than the last episode, which is perfectly fine by me.
Yeah, it was great.
It's been a great talk with you.
It's been phenomenal.
And not that we're killing it now. Like I said, we've got another 20 minutes. So I did want to ask, you know, is there anything specifically that's on your mind that you want to talk about? Specifically that's on your heart, you know, anything that you want to really, you want to really speak on, or
I wanted to pedal back to where you took your moments and looked at the mountains and from your problems when you're on the back deck. I wanted to go back to that and just reiterate on some of that. If you wanted to reiterate as well to bring us back into that.
Sure, man. You know, I'm more than comfortable to speak in specificities, you know. My upcoming was a very good upcoming. However, at some point, you know, there were paths that I strayed down that I was away from my shepherd, I was away from the other sheep, you know, and there were times where, you know, I'll admit it as a man, I became a wolf, you know.
Yeah.
And these aren't times that I'm proud of. These aren't, you know, adventures that I'm proud of. However, they are a piece that makes the character that is me today, right?
Yeah,
all of it,
building block.
All of it is a building. Every story is a building block that builds what I am now. And not that I'm saying what it's built is much, you know.
I love it.
Thank you, brother.
I'm happy to have you as a friend. I wouldn't change a thing.
I wouldn't change a thing, brother.
But if you want to grow together with me, we'll add new pieces.
Always, brother.
Hell
Always.
yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. And, you know, there's been times where it's like, you know, and I'll be honest, you know, Alaska was almost an escape route for me. You know,
it's so nice, too. There's so many places to hide here.
And whenever I came here, you know, originally, I was in such a dark place. You know,
I think we all were when we moved here.
If it's okay for me to, you know, truly speak freely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And be 100% vulnerable, you know. I'll be 100% entirely honest. Whenever I came here, I wasn't in the best place. In fact, whenever I say I wasn't in the best place, I was at one of my lowest of lows, if not the lowest of lows. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And whenever I said, you know, because I had visited, and I was like, you know what? No, I know what I need. I know what I'm gonna do. It's what I'm gonna do. And whenever I say nobody could stop me, you know. And I was so blessed to have the family that I had that were like, okay, son, you're going, we're coming. You know, we're going to be here with you, you know. And you know, just to have the kind of family that I have to be able to say, you're not going to go through that alone. I mean, unless you truly want to, you don't have to go through that alone. Let's go and let's all figure it all out together. If you're going to Hill, let's all go to Hill, you know. And so I ran away from a lot, you know, and that's just me being honest.
Do you feel like it was healthy?
100%. 100%.
And was it worth it?
There's not a 1,000%.
Would you change it?
No.
And you're appreciative of what you decided to do?
I am overall a much more mature, peaceful, calm man, and if that doesn't speak enough for it, I'm a better man.
I'm happy for it.
I'm a better man. I'm so grateful for even just the opportunity that, you know, the almighty powers and whatever it may be that allowed me to come up here and find my healing, you know. Because there was a lot of things I was battling. There was a lot of things that I was dealing with, you know. And this place brought me a healing that I didn't know was capable. But I knew if there was anywhere that was capable, it was here, you know.
Why did you choose Alaska? What made you want to come here? What strived you to take the 10-hour trip to here? If not even 14 hours.
A nostalgic feeling. Actually, as funny as it is, we didn't take a 10-hour or 14-hour trip. We drove 36 hours to Seattle.
Holy shit.
Put a car on a barge, and then flew over.
What car did you bring over? Is
A friend of ours. Shout out Brooklyn. You know who you are. I'll shout you out. Shout out Brooklyn. Whenever she was like, you know what, I'll go with you. No matter what my parents said, she was like, you know what, I'll go with you. We'll make it work. You know.
Yeah.
Great friend. You know. She was like, fuck it, I need some healing too. You know.
Hell yeah, brother.
One of those friends, and
it's definitely a place to get it.
And you know, it's I don't regret a moment of it, you know. And in fact, there's been recent times where I've gone home, back to the lower 48.
It's such a sickening feeling.
Back to the south, and you know, just coming up here, and I'm still, dude. It's crazy how fast everything is.
Do you notice the sickness down there?
There's a sickness, and there's a speed to everything. Have you ever noticed the speed? Now. And I feel like, you know,
where's my fucking McDonald's? I want it now.
From September to now, which is like, you know, we're in the late days of November.
There's such a high standard.
From September to like the late days of November, you know, I feel like I blinked. You know,
that's the worst feeling. And it's even literally the worst feeling.
The season, you know, this recent
September, it's literally the worst feeling.
This recent season was late. I mean, this recent season was quick, right? It went by like this. But whenever I mean the last few months that I've been back in the South have gone like this, you know, I got back up here and I felt the cold air and I smelt just the freshness of the
pine.
Air. Just the freshness of the air.
Into your nostrils.
Walking out of the airport, dude, and I felt at home.
Which just endorphin rush. And when I went back down to South Florida, this is my first time coming back from Florida because I lived in a dry cabin, no heat, no insulation, no water. The only thing I had was a light. I could see outside from inside with the dry cabin I was in. It was negative 15 outside when I finally got insulation into the house, and I was riding a bicycle in cotton clothes 3 miles to work every day.
That's here?
Here in Seward. This is my roots, yes. And I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm kind of getting buzzed.
I think it's funny that you bring that up. You know, all season long, I didn't even have a vehicle. I mean, I had a vehicle. I had the van, you know.
Yeah. That
if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I have 2 episodes of me taking this 3500 Dodge van and entirely remodeling it as a sleeper.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's a, you know, I like to say I'm very proud of the van that I built. But, you know, I bought that van and I parked it, you know, like a camper. Mm-hmm. And I lived in it and I drove. I had an e-bike.
I love my e-bike.
I still have the e-bike.
I crashed mine.
Oh.
I wrecked the shit out of it.
And I rode that e-bike to the docks every day, you know? And even just that, even in the mornings whenever I was running late to the boat and it was cold, you know?
I remember shoving that thing in the back of my van.
Yeah, you did. You know, it's, you know, I'd be watching over the thing and even in those moments, everything would slow down, you know? And it's not like home. I mean, I say home, it is home.
Yeah.
But it's not like back in the lower 48 in the south.
It's so stressful down there.
It's so stressful. Everything is go.
And there's a lot of
here
hate.
you have so much time to breathe. Yes.
There's hate.
There's so much. Yeah.
Absolutely. You feel that negative? Oh, I remember I was going back before. I said I was a little buzz. So, not to cut you off. We'll come back to it.
You're good. I was good at where I was at.
Coming off the airplane for the first time in Florida, back from Alaska, was the worst experience coming back. Hot, muggy, people arguing. This is literally coming right off the airplane.
Right.
And I couldn't wait to come back. And I spent my couple months there, enjoyed my time with my family. But when I booked my trip back to Ted Stevens International, my best friend Scotty at the time, still my bestie. I don't have many. I have Scotty, Kevin, you, and Matthew. That's it. That's all my best friends.
And Will
Gentry. was my number one. You're my number one now. No, I'm serious. I hope you know that. But not to stray, before I start forgetting again, coming back to Ted Stevens International, to see the guy standing there with the propeller, you know, the little iron statue, the brass statue, was the best moment. I'll remember this for the rest of my life. You know, airports, you wouldn't even think about a best moment of your life to think about. But see my buddy Scotty pick me up. We stopped at a McDonald's, and I literally kissed the ground because I was so happy to be back in Alaska.
Right.
And a moment that I've been chasing for the longest time that I lived here, it was only a one-shot chance that it's ever happened, and it was my first time in Alaska on June 8th, 2019, and it's the smell of the pines when you first come to Alaska. That fresh pine smell, it like burns your nose a little bit. But any other time that you come back, you don't smell it.
You know what's funny is from my first time is I don't, and this is just me being honest, I don't remember getting off the plane. I don't remember I do remember staying at the hotel that we stayed at in Anchorage. I remember us picking up the RV, and I remember us driving straight down to Seward. But the part that the number one thing that stands out to me is in my head, right? I can look at pictures and be like, oh, I remember that. But the number one thing that stands out to me in my head is pulling into Seward, right? And right there by where the Safeway is now, you know, you're looking out over what is now Avtech, and then you're looking at the sea and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember just smelling and feeling, and it brings a nostalgic feeling. Me and Mom were actually talking about it on the last episode, you know. That's a feeling that doesn't fade. No matter how many times
ingrained.
No matter how many
It's
times I
hard in your
drive
soul.
into this town, you know, I feel that, and it engulfs me, you know, as a feeling.
It's a great feeling.
And you know, I've been so grateful to be able to call this place home and make this place home.
I agree. It's been nothing but good to me. You know, there's a lot of times that I do get frustrated. You know, as humans, we either like the room hot or we like it cold, but we are never really totally satisfied. But living in Alaska, there are certain points where you're just
Contempt.
yeah, for lack of better words.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
It was
off.
perfect.
But I feel that, you know. And you know, like I said, you know, I've visited the past 3 months back home, and you know, or back where we're from, and you know, no matter what it was, I was chasing something. And whenever I come up here, I can sit and I can be content, and the love that I have here, and the family that I have here, and everything that I have here, you know, and the healing that I have here.
It's nice. And you don't even need drugs to heal around here.
Absolutely not.
It's insane.
Right.
You know, people go do ayahuasca, Burning Man, and all that. Come to Alaska. Spend a season up here. Work as a seasonal worker. Don't even have to be a great job. You could be a menial job. You will literally experience what we're experiencing and explaining today, and it will make you feel like a feeling that you've never. It's like a pineal gland almost.
Or
you know?
even just come up here as an adventurer, as a you know. The thing is, you know, if you come and you see some of the sights that there are, and you see some of the things that there are, you know, I mean,
I think
whenever
into
you
a
say,
lust, though. If they took it up for like a couple-day trip, it would turn into a lust.
I won't say a couple-day trip, but what I am getting at is, you said, you know, you don't really need drugs up here for that, and that's the thing is, like, you come up here and you really indulge the wilderness and the outdoors and everything that Alaska has to offer, and that will become a drug. Yes,
it's a natural
that
drug.
will become its own drug.
It will make you literally crave. So when I left Georgia and Florida and all those southern states, I have no problem sitting doing nothing all day, falling asleep, watching YouTube here in Alaska. But when I'm down south, I don't know if it's in the air or just being down south and not being able to see a mountain or feel that crisp air or the fresh smells or just the energy in the air, I will lose my fucking mind. I literally go stir crazy. down south.
1,000%.
I go stir
Absolutely.
crazy. I can't sit still. I've got to do something, and nothing fulfills it. Nothing.
I don't even just go stir crazy back home.
I can't feel like nothing fulfills me. Like zero.
I go crazy. You know.
Absolutely, I know the feeling.
And you know that's been another thing is like I feel like that's been a thing, and you know. I feel like that's been a thing in my relationship too. It was like, you know, we traveled back together, and like I had to worry at one point if I was gonna run her away with how I felt, you know. And the crazy thing is, until I got back up here, I don't know if I realized, and I say I don't know if I did, but I did realize, you know, I just, you know, being back home made me feel a certain way.
It's an amazing feeling, especially when you get back here. It's like a bench weight lifted off your chest.
Absolutely.
Like you can breathe, you can think, you can process, you can develop, and you can build. All in yourself. It is just one of the many and wonderful, amazing things that Alaska can provide. And we encourage you as a group to make that trip. Just jump. Come up here, make it happen. It doesn't have to be Seward. Please, God, don't go to Whittier. Whittier sucks dick. But Soldotna, Seward, I would stay away from Anchorage. Valdosta I haven't been to, but I've heard good things. Gerwood as well. If you want to go work on the North Slope or work on a charter boat out of Homer,
or even fishing boats,
fishing boats in general will give you a variety of people, building skills,
not even just fishing boats. Those KFT boats. That's a great place for you to see.
That's a great branching.
That's a great place for you to see
environment. You don't have to really work very hard.
Yeah.
You just have to learn how to talk to people in different parts of the ocean.
And sometimes you got to tie a line, you know.
Yeah, you just got to throw in a simple bowline knot or throw a line on a cleat and make sure everybody's wearing their safe vest if they need one. It's pretty simple work if you really think about it. And you're making great money. You're making like $20, $25 an hour.
Plus tips?
Yeah, plus tips. Tips are great. And they give you free trips and you get memories that are lasting forever, and it's hard to buy that, you know. You can't buy memories.
Well, John, you know, we're coming to the last few minutes, and so I wanted to give you the opportunity. Is there anything, social media or anybody you'd like to shout out or plug, any of your work that you'd like to plug? Or
I don't really have much of a YouTube or Instagram base. I mean, you can look up my name. It's Jean Lecanu, JEAN_Lecanu, LECANU. You know, I post my life stuff. You can see my hunting and fishing, and I'm assuming that he has your Instagram on there as well.
Right. I mean, I will make sure to throw you in the subscription as well as put a little thing over your head that shows your
yeah, absolutely. But, and then I don't know if it's going to be in this video for the meats that were donated for the tallow. Is that a different video?
No, yeah, that'll be a different video.
So I'll tag them. Other than that, I think just myself at this moment. I can't really think of anybody that I would like to tag for this video.
I do want to shout out because we talked about them and we talked about a few stories that happened on their boat, Wake of Outdoors. Shout out them guys.
Bailey was great.
Bailey and Jamie, you guys are
love
great.
you guys. Carson
and Evan, if you see this,
I love you, Evan.
love
bro.
you guys, love all y'all. Yeah.
Will Gentry, Sean Prendergrass, Maria Martinez, Christina, I love you, baby. I really hope you get a chance to see this.
Shout out Christina.
Man, she makes my heart tumble when I even say her name.
I love that for
It's
you, brother.
so great.
I love that.
I love that woman.
Well, guys, we appreciate you for watching, and I hope you catch us on the next one.
Yeah, tight lines to you guys, and stay sharp out there.
Tight lines. Thank you for coming, John.
Love you, bro.
Love you, brother.
Be easy.
Be easy, man.
All right.
All right.
Yodel.
Yodel.